Today's A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan podcast is brought to you by Hollabox Willow Tree Cafe in Sanford. We just got back from there, went there last week.
Yeah.
Now, a little interesting story, just bear with me. You got this amazing pork shank, this humongous meat bone in the middle of, it's served in this bowl with all these delicious sides.
Like German mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
I mean, sure.
Some sauerkraut. But then...
Chef Pat will know how fancy your name is.
You got that. And then Samantha saw that, and she's like, oh, I want that too. But I guess that's big. This thing is a Mondo Mega shank. It's a big pork shank. Sam's like, I want one of those too. She's like, oh, look, they have an appetizer pork shank. Yeah, they do. It's just two baby pork shanks that I feel very confidently equal one gigantic pork shank. No matter how you cut it, you just get massive amounts of goodness at Hollabox.
Oh, talking about the appetizers, the potato pancakes, the pretzel, that charcuterie board, the sausages. If you want a dining experience that is unlike any other, it's Hollabox.
It's damn hard to explain. Jimmy and Eckhart were up there on the stage.
Oh, yeah.
Every 5 seconds, you're cheersing, you're screaming, you're dancing. And then I'm eating, I got Wiener Schnitzel. I got my schnitzels. And then I got some spatzel. And then I got
a mega beer.
You got in trouble because you got a beer that was twice the size of your head, and then your wife would cut you off. But then after you got cut off, you ordered a baby big beer. It's a big beer, but the way the glass is, it's a wide Daniel beer, so it tricks your wife into thinking you got a baby beer.
If you haven't been to Hollabox, they have totally redone everything. They got their the rooftop beer garden.
We didn't even get a chance to go up there.
No, I know.
We were partying so hard downstairs.
I know.
You can eat outside.
There's the Outfitters. There's the Magnolia Square Market, where you can get all the German grocery and spaghetti ice cream.
They have
and deli
to-go meals if you're in a rush, but you still want to eat good. They have some to-go meals, like quick grab and heat meals in there. They have a wall of gummy bears. You mentioned spaghetti eyes. I just go on and on about it because it's so damn fun.
It's a great experience. If you haven't been to Hollabox, you got to check it out. And when you go, ask for Chef Pat. Ask for a Tom and Dan pen. We got brand new pens. As me and Daniel as tiny soccer balls.
Yeah, they had them
drinking beers.
They had them out that night.
Yep. And just ask for a pen. That's how they know that you're a Tom and Dan listener. So if you want unbelievable dining experience, it's Hollabox Willow Tree Cafe in downtown Sanford.
Live from the Streamline Mortgage Solutions studio, it's Orlando's own Tom and Dan.
Hello. This is your Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan program. We hope that you will find our presentation precise, joke heavy, and just right. Thanks.
Welcome to the Friday free show of A Mediocre Time.
Hey. It is another A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
No, Samantha. She is on a Sixth Man flogging Molly punk rock cruise. So, would imagine they're on their way back, right?
I saw on the Semantics page that I'm a member of, because I support Semantics.
Yes. Well, you're one of the, I'd say, the most adamant, most passionate Semantics supporters.
I saw a picture they took on stage, and there's a lot of goddamn people on that cruise. The amount of audience.
You know what I saw? Paranoia. When I saw that many people, I'm like, oh, buddy, I bet she is scared.
Oh, it is.
Because that's the last place you want to be. Is you don't want to be in Great White at sea. You know what I mean? Fire when you're on a boat and then you're trapped in the pit. I don't know. One of Flogging Molly's, one of their Irish car bombs. So, I don't know. One of their silly Applejack hats got too close to something. One of the confetti cannons, it burst into flames. Do you like Flogging Molly? I can't do it anymore. I reached a point. I love them.
Irish
I
drinking.
love them. You ever heard of people that eat like, I had a buddy, Jonathan Taylor, back in DeLand, that ate so much bacon as a kid that he could never eat bacon again. He baconed himself out. He ate so much bacon as a kid, and then one day he's just, I can't do it anymore. And even now, I asked him, I hit him up on, is your mic on?
I don't know. Test.
I hit him up on Facebook. He's like, yeah, I still don't eat bacon. I did that with Flogging Molly. I went hard on Flogging Molly in the early 2000s. Real hard.
I do that with food sometimes. I'll go on it hard for like 3-4 months at night. I'll eat something and then stop. And then
I can't. All that Irish music is ruined for me. No, I can't. No.
They've kind of pigeonholed themselves into a certain sound.
Don't let the bastard hold you down.
That they can't really get away from. Like, so
no more.
Other bands have certain sounds. Like you make the argument, you're a big Red Hot Chili Peppers fan.
They closed the door on the mill and me father. No.
So like Red Hot Chili Peppers can kind of evolve throughout the years.
They have a new album out today.
Yeah, and I'm sure their new album sounds, it sounds like the Chili Peppers, but it's different from other albums.
It's
the
more
sound,
mellow. Yeah, it's not what
but Flogging Molly, they got to do the thing.
Yeah, they got to do the thing.
They're not going
the acoustic guitar. Then they got the electric guitar.
It's got to sound like a bar fight every single song.
And you got to have a bastard in it. And then the bastard came to town.
Yeah.
No, I just don't like it anymore.
Real quick, Eric just texted me. He's going to have...
write that down for a hot take.
What?
We need that for the awards.
Well,
that's a hot take.
Flogging Molly.
Me shitting on Flogging Molly. No, just for me.
The Eric's going to have our brand new Tom and Dan, one Tom, Puerto Rican baby earrings up.
Yeah.
Really? He's got
Puerto Rican baby earrings.
Pretty cool.
Have you seen our Puerto Rican baby earrings? Oh, they are so, oh my God.
Are they big hoop?
No, they're a little, like, pressed gold. They were not gold. They're some sort of metal.
I think a big hoop.
I don't know what they're made of.
But they're like, there's some sort of metal that's gold.
I know they're bright. It's brighter than gold.
It's just gold plated, right?
It's gold. It's gold plus.
No, it's not even plated gold.
It's gold plus.
Gold plus. It's some metal.
It's fool's gold.
It's bright, though.
It's got to be a fool to get them.
But it's
shiny.
Daniel's head and my head.
Yeah,
basically.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I might pierce my ear for that.
Which one are you going to wear, me or Tom?
I'll do both in the same ear.
Both? Oh, two in the same ear?
Yep.
We should
like that.
Do they still have like a piercing pagoda at the mall?
Yeah.
We should do a
Absolutely.
go-to show.
That's how I supplement my income, because this place is not working.
Will you do a go-to show where we all go to piercing pagoda and get our ears pierced?
This was my idea. I said I wanted to get the earrings. Like you and I get, and I'll wear you and you wear me, and then the cycle's complete. It's a lot easier than us. Well, the other idea was
that the listeners on both sides of my nose.
You will?
Yeah, why not?
The listeners wanted you to put your penis inside my uncircumcised foreskin.
That's called docking, right?
Yeah, docking, and then the circle's complete.
Yeah, okay, there you go. Though that was the original.
But I feel like us going to piercing pagoda is way easier than the other thing. Just like dick, and then you stick the earrings in.
Less awkward. Now we will get some sort of green ear from whatever the earring's made of. I have no idea.
You got to make sure you clean it very well.
The box.
That's only if your body rejects the metal, right?
Yeah, I think so. My wife gets that where she can't. Wear certain types of metals in her ear because it bothers her ear or whatever.
Is that just
I think it happens to everyone.
Hold on a second.
Everyone over 38 years old that happens to, I think, that gets their ears pierced. I don't think.
No, I think this is a scam to make sure that your dumb husband doesn't buy shitty earrings.
It may be. She said, like, if it's not pure gold. Or...
I don't know if that's. We don't have Sam to look it up, so I'm going to say it's fake.
I don't think that's
a real thing, man. Like, I think that is a scam and an old wives' tale that women traditionally have made up in order. Oh, you know what you need to do? You know what you need to do? Just tell him you can't wear the cheap shit. Because, and then he won't get you the stainless. He'll go and get you the gold, he'll get you the platinum, get you the rose gold, right? I'm telling you, that's pretty good.
It feels like a regular stainless steel. Although these earrings, they're not stainless.
Like, why would it turn your ear
green? They're stainless steel.
What is the science behind you put
oxidation?
Yeah, but
happens to buildings.
I get that, but I'm just saying, like, so then your ear just goes like, "Oh, it's metal! Oh, turn green!" Like, how does that? What is the thing?
The heat from your ear resonates. It puts out heat, and
this might be a dumbest show we've ever done. I like this. No Samantha here. Bring in the specialist. We need a dumb specialist. Anything else to plug?
We are doing our BDM Appreciation Week coming up April 17th. So, 2 things. If you're not a BDM, sign up now to be eligible to get a gift in the mail. Daniel just ordered 3 Oculuses. We got a Nintendo Switch where we ordered a hot tub.
And I didn't
inflatable hot tub.
No, I didn't bullshit on the hot tub either. And I had to get special approval to up the price because there's 2 main players in the hot tub game, the Intex and the Coleman, and fuck them. I went more expensive.
We got.
What'd you get?
I'm tell you the brand.
It's got an American flag.
Yeah,
okay.
it's a brand new company. Well, they're not brand new. They've been doing it for about the last 10 years, but they're really biting into Intex is your big dog, right?
Yeah.
But this
one,
this particular one, it's called Wave, and they have covers for them. It's no bullshit. It's not like the ones you inflate it, and then when you're done with it, you stab it with a knife, and your garbage man comes and get it. This one actually has covers. It's nice. Keeps the leaves out.
Okay.
So all courtesy of Streamline Mortgage, StreamlineFlorida.com. They are funding everything, and basically we're giving out thousands of dollars worth of prizes, and at least hopefully you'll get a thank you card and a sticker because we're sending out over 1,000 of those, and then all these other prizes.
Oh my God! Which wife? You scared us.
My ex.
It's Andrea.
Oh, okay. Why are you interrupting Tom? I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry. I don't know. That was the most Will Smith thing I could ever do is to put my wife on. I'm like, what do you need, babe?
It's the earring thing. I need to talk to you about the earring thing. It is true. Why do you think I still have my studs in from when I got my ears pierced back in college?
I thought that was because you were dating a drift car driver and he still meant something to you. So you have those earrings in your ear to remind you of the drift car driver who was tall and had a ginormous mega ding dong.
No, it's because my ears are sensitive to cheapo metals, and your ears to get infected and puffy and gross.
What? Why? What?
It's because she thinks it to be true, and it happens.
I think that's bullshit.
She wills it. It's a placebo effect.
So what metals do you have to use? Like pure gold, silver, platinum?
Yeah, you have to. You can't use I know a lot of earrings are made with nickel, and I think that bothers people sometimes, or just the cheap, metal or whatever they're using. You're sticking a pin through your ear, so it just doesn't.
Silicone is cheap, and it's star. Why do we use silicone?
That's the most dumb you've ever sounded on the show. Sorry, you're a smart woman, but you sound like an idiot, right? You sound that. No.
You never bought me any earrings.
That's
but
no, I haven't bought you because I'm still paying off the goddamn rings I bought. I can't buy earrings because I'm still paying off the rings and the necklaces.
Are the rings turning your fingers green?
How does your body know the price of metal?
Thank you.
Because it has does nickel have more bacteria in it?
The strength.
Weird?
I'm guessing it's the strength.
No, it's the reaction that your body has to it. You've seen where things turn green.
Oh yeah.
After it's out, you're showering with this stuff on. You're showering with.
Well, that's your fault. You're supposed to take your earrings out. I take off my boots and spurs before I get in the shower.
Yeah, but the expense of metal is just based on its rarity, right? So
I think
not really the because
you think it's the strength, man.
No,
gold isn't strong. Gold is
weak.
Yeah, it's one of the least.
But it bends.
Easy to
it
melt.
absorbs to the energy.
Oh my God! What the?
This is a dumb show.
Are you high? Let's just do a dumb show. Are we doing a dumb show?
What I'm saying is it adapts to its surroundings.
I'm doing a dumb. We're doing a dumb show.
All right, let's measure our cocks. Sorry,
I've never been more happy about life.
I believe because Crystal said the same thing before.
Yes, because they don't want us buying them bullshit JCPenney earrings. They want us going to Goldsmith and Jewelry Shop.
I don't know why.
R.I.P. David Lair, God bless you, and going and buying quality product. I think that this is some bullshit because I bet you, Andrea, if I went to Hot Topic and bought you because they had plugs and slugs and all the things, all the jewelry, and if I bought you 2 earrings from Hot Topic and put them in your ears right now and left them there for 2 days,
we don't have to buy anything. We have Tom and Dan Puerto Rican.
I don't know about these. I don't know about that. I don't know where these came from.
Well, I will guarantee they're the cheapest earrings ever made. So we should. Andrea, will you put our Tom and Dan earrings in your ears?
Let's do a webcam
and then
on your
see
ears.
What happens. What will happen?
I don't want to be the guinea pig. Have one of your listeners be the guinea pig.
Well, put him in Maisie's ears. She can be the guinea pig. She's tough. She'll be like, ah! And they'll be like, take them out.
Well, is it instant or is it after weeks?
I think you got to shower.
No, that's after a while of wearing it.
Well, we can speed it up.
Think about copper is sometimes coated with something to make it look gold or silver. Once that starts wearing off, then Daniel, your finger has a reaction when you wear your dad. You have your dad's old ring in it, and it has a reaction.
Just as weak. Yeah. I could wear any metal in my body. No reaction.
I will say I haven't had that in a long time.
But it's still a thing.
I don't think it is anymore. I think that had more to do with me being a big fat piece of shit.
Follow me with this.
Putting pressure on their skin.
I think maybe that had to do with me being heavier, maybe. I don't know.
Follow me with this logic.
Not that I'm svelte now, but I'm just saying.
Oh, God. Your logic. You guys Friday logic.
We're having a dumb show. If you're not allowing us a dumb show.
I've heard many people say, if they were in, Vietnam or they got shot or some bullet fragment is still in their body.
Like lead.
And then they said, oh, yeah, it's still in my body. And
are you going to throw up?
The doctor died,
inward burp.
Yeah, burp. So, and they're like, it's stuck in my body, and then doctor said they can't remove it. It's too dangerous. It'll be in there forever. And I assume that they make bullets out of a cheap-ass metal because they're just shooting it into someone, it's no reason to make it expensive, right?
If anything, you want to make it cheap so it does create it.
Yeah, you want it to kill.
Yeah.
I want 70 years later, I want you to drop dead because of the fragment.
Shoot your earrings at people.
So how is it that people have bullets in their body and it's seemingly fine?
Because they're tougher back then.
It could be the location where the bullet is going to be more of a chore to get out than your little, reaction to the metal that's in there. I'm not a doctor, but that's what I guess. You're asking me, who doesn't have medical degree.
It needs oxygen.
Is that what it is?
Well, that's what happens when water or whatever hits, the Statue of Liberty. It oxidizes and creates that effect.
Then,
right.
It's
not a dumb show, because I just did science.
Exposed. Yeah.
So if you swallowed one of our earrings, totally fine.
Will you eat one of our earrings? I'll put a piece of cork on the end so it don't shred you up.
So Andrea, we'll test these earrings with one of our listeners, and then here's the thing: people will buy them, and then they'll be posting on the internet. My ears have turned green.
We can call them like blind box.
Oh yeah.
It's like blind box. Put them in your ears.
They're $10.
Yeah.
Any info on what they're made of?
Info.
It's a blend. It's a California blend.
Tony ordered them from a factory,
and they came in 3 days. It's the fastest earrings you've ever been stamped.
And they said they'll make anything.
Yeah. In fact, it's the second shipment. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to talk about this. The first shipment, they had our eyes. Remember, he said our eyes had been filled with some sort of dark black. Do you remember that? He said the first printing was horrible, and we look like goblins.
That could be a Halloween special.
If we asked this factory to make us aluminum cans that said Liquid Death on them, they will make that.
Well, we should do that.
There is no copyright. They don't care about anything. They will make anything that we ask them to. No problem.
Yeah.
There's no rules.
Christine in our Twitch chat room, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live. We are live on there right now and almost every Monday through Friday. She said if they're piercing earrings, they should be safe. These are absolutely not expensive-ass piercing jewelry. My daughter went to an actual piercing place to get her ears done because Andrea took this so seriously that, truthfully, you do worry about this with our own kid. We took her to a piercing studio, and I paid through the ass to get her pierced. I didn't go to the pagoda. Trust me, I wanted to go to the pagoda, but I was not allowed.
I'm sure they're fine.
Yeah. It's fine. Perfectly safe. Haven't you guys heard the mosquito Nick's ad? Jesus. Perfectly safe.
When I was younger, I took a common bobby pin, like a big bobby pin, stuck it through my cheek and kept it there for 2 days and nothing ever happened.
Why'd you do that?
Because I was
trying to act out.
All right, babe. Do you need her in anything? Okay.
Bye, guys.
Okay, I love you. Bye.
Not to jump subjects, but you talked about we don't talk about Jada, or is that what the other show? You mentioned the Will Smith thing.
Yeah. Well, I said it was the most Will Smith thing I've ever done is to actually answer the phone and then like, Andrea, please, you have the floor.
So I know it's fucked out. Everybody's been talking about it, but I haven't heard people talk about this aspect of it, which is interesting to me. So I'm
still interested in the story. Can I say that?
I have a prediction, right? So my prediction is, and maybe this is already well known and out there, but I think Chris Rock is going to make an hour-long comedy special, that has him talking about this, and then maybe he weaves it into more of a commentary on what's going on in our society. Chris Rock is a super genius comedian, so it would probably be easy for him to make an hour out of this. And basically, obviously, the slap is just some small incident, but he'll turn it into a comedy special, right?
Yeah.
And my prediction is now I don't know all of his contracts.
Yeah, we should try to predict what we think is going to happen. There's your angle for right now.
So going back to we all talked about what happened, but this was the biggest non-serious event that I could remember in recent history that more people around the globe saw than ever before, and I think in history.
You and I become obsessed with these type of things of like trying to quantify or dial down. Like we've always used the analogy about like there'll never be a band bigger than the Beatles just because of the way the world was.
Yeah.
I believe that this is one of those. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
I agree. I think it is like this.
The end of MASH, the season finale.
Because these award shows are going away too. By the way, I mean, you this is a pin in the balloon, right? I mean,
it is going away, but still, the Oscars has an allure to it, a prestigiousness to it that still everybody respects. The world respects. It's still a award ceremony.
Not so much today.
Not as much, but you could say it's.
I mean after the event.
Yeah.
I mean they are getting so much heat right now just for how they handled things.
But a super popular award ceremony, one of the most popular award ceremony in the world, right? And for this to happen with one of the biggest A-list celebrities and biggest comedians in the world is unprecedented, right? And for this bizarre scenario to happen, and then for us to have everybody's
got a lightning strike for sure.
Everybody's got a smartphone, so everybody saw it, and it spanned demographics that I've never seen. Like teens talked about it, and do you think there's any other non-serious event that's ever happened that this many people saw? And I'll give you guys an example.
I'm so glad you mentioned that too. And if you want to dovetail to this later, you can. Maisie has no idea about it. No clue.
No. I'm talking about like from 18 to 65, right? 18-year-old from 18 to 65, and let's just say in the United States, because maybe in other countries that don't speak English, that maybe got lost or something, they don't care as much about it.
Or you might have bigger things going on in your country at the time. At the moment.
But I will contend worldwide, still people know who Will Smith is. They've seen Will Smith, and people know Chris Rock.
They broke by the Japanese and the Australian news. It was the one that showed it again.
Yeah.
Right? So it's obviously was bigger.
So
elsewhere.
you could say worldwide, from 18 to 65. What do you think the percentage of people that at least know that this happened or this incident happened?
0.1% do not know. Everybody else is on board.
It's got to be, I mean, even if you were conservative about it, a 95% saturation rate, worldwide or United
I hate
States
agreeing with you, but I have to agree with you. It's the closest we will get to 100% saturation, I believe.
Because it's
for an entertainment entity, for
non-serious,
not even entertainment, for a news item, it is almost 100% saturation, I believe.
And I say non-serious because at the end of the day, it's a fucking slap.
It is a slap, yeah. And it's a stupid thing. Yeah.
Both of these men and their families are just fine. I'll reassure all of you, they're just fine.
But that's the fun part is that we're actually talking about something that isn't so fucking serious.
And that plays into it,
and that helps out. I don't know. It's good to it's not good because I hate concentrating all our effort on something so stupid, but it's also a relief from not worrying about all the serious bullshit, right?
That plays into it too.
Like, that's how I feel anyway.
And so then you have this unique situation that's happened that now...
I find it absolutely fascinating. I can't get enough of this Will Smith story, and I'm admitting that for the first time on this show.
I will go ahead and say everybody in the world knows about it, right? So then now, because of the internet, everybody's got a smartphone, blah, 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 social media. And so now, what happens next? So I predict that Chris Rock will come out with a comedy special. He already kind of hinted to the fact that, like, his shows, I mean, he's already sold more tickets to his upcoming shows in one day after that happened than in like a month.
Jen in our chat room just replied that in Atlanta they added dates because
it's so popular.
Yeah, he's so popular right now.
So now you got the ticket revenue for his current tour, but he made a reference when his first show back that he's writing a special or writing something about this, right? So my prediction is he comes out with an hour-long comedy special. It talks about this and a bunch of other stuff, and then
he's got to do it fast.
He has to do it fast,
because people's attention or
someone like Chris Rock can write something a really good quality special pretty fast. You know, if he puts his effort behind it.
Can I throw crazy on your prediction?
Okay.
What if I'm gonna piggyback on top of you because I don't think you're off at all here. I think this sounds very, very plausible to me.
It's the smartest thing in my opinion to do.
But I'm a little nuttier than you. What if he does it in a way where the first part of it is him talking about it and making light of it, and what if the end of it is him and either a reconciliation and or a meeting face to face with him and Will Smith? Is that your long?
I don't think Will Smith will do it.
Is that your dark horse?
No, I don't think he even needs to do that. Because,
no, he absolutely doesn't. And but I'm just trying to play on, because remember the thing that everybody's saying backstage. I watched this Dr. Todd Grande. I think that's his name. He's he psychoanalyzes people on YouTube as like he's a real doctor, but he does it in this weird cadence, and I subscribe to him. I think he's funny. But he was talking about how, that Chris Rock's, everybody said, including Wanda Sykes, including Ellen, other people that have talked to him, said that he was apologizing to everybody, behind the scenes, because you know what I mean? Like, that's a weird thing to do when you did nothing wrong, other than maybe the joke. I don't know if that was what he's apologizing for. I just wonder
he's probably apologizing because, like, this is an awkward-ass thing that happened at an Oscars.
Well, I just wonder if he tries to unify a little bit more with this and do less damage back to Will. You know what I mean?
Regardless of what obviously Chris Rock is, again, a brilliant comedian. They can probably weave this into a great special where he addresses it. He maybe talks a little shit about Will Smith, but really just like overall, what's going on in society. That's what Chris Rock does. Anyway, regardless of what the special is going to be, he's going to come out with this hour-long special, and unless he has some contract that I don't know about or whatever, if he shops this out to all the streaming services, imagine how much money they're going to bid for this special. Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, HBO. You put it out in the open market and you're like, who wants this special in which everybody in the goddamn world heard about what happened and is interested in?
And it's probably going to watch for sure.
$20 million?
Yeah. Maybe more.
Oh, I'd say more than that, right?
Well, like, if I'm putting in comparison, like, Netflix paid Dave Chappelle $50 million for how many special, like 5 different comedy specials, like $10 million each. But this is going to be bigger than that.
I looked that up yesterday. He did. They have him on the hook for a couple more specials, and then they have him on the hook for 4 other specials that he will produce with friends of his, and one of them is our friend Earthquake.
Oh, right. Yeah, I saw.
Yeah, that's why you saw Dave Chappelle and Earthquake together, and then if you saw that's
already out, by the way, because it's like Chappelle's Comedians Earthquake.
Yeah, they were holding it back, and then they just released that. He's doing like 4 or 5 of those.
But you put the way you make the most money. Look what happened to Deshaun Watson. You get the most popular person as far as football skills wise, not public wise, but out on the open market, and you get the most money. He puts this out and shops this out and lets the streaming services bid on it, and he's going to make a shit ton of money. I predict $10 million plus. Someone will pay for this, maybe even more. But look at the scenario and how bizarre it is. Essentially, by Will Smith slapping Chris Rock, he gave him the opportunity to make $20 million plus, and this was probably the best thing to happen to Chris Rock's career Ever. And I'm saying that because
for later in your career, for sure.
No other instance that I could possibly think of would cause a scenario for Chris Rock to go out and produce a special that would be this popular worldwide. I can't think of anything else. And this scenario caused this to happen. And which brings us into another topic of someone doing something shitty to you, which caused something good to happen to you. And we've had this theme before in this show, where this is kind of how the show fucking started.
Well, you and I have disagreed on that. I think it's important to talk about that. Like, out of the two of us, the more logical one of us, the least emotional one of us, is certainly going to find it easier to get over the fact that sometimes the worst thing that you're going through at the time is absolutely the best thing and the necessary thing that you needed.
Mm-hmm. And a benefit to you.
I still have days where I don't see that.
And
really?
I still have days where I don't see that.
And everybody
on the outside, people can see that.
Well, I mean, I'm a lot.
Well, at least a lot of people can.
Well, I run a lot hotter than Tom can. It's easier for him, I think, to take in the data, process it, and because in my core, I absolutely know that when we were dealing with our whatever we had to deal with to decide to start this company and leave a very comfortable situation. This was absolutely 1,000% the right decision, right?
And I'm
not against that.
Everybody, no, well, yeah. I mean, like, someone tries to do something shitty to us, and that's the catalyst to us starting this business, and that's the best thing we've ever done. So you look back and you're like, well, this shitty thing, even though I go back and forth, intent is a big thing with me. The person intended to shut down the show, and it ended up creating a business that is thriving and the best thing we've ever done. But still, their intention was shitty, so I'm conflicted a little bit. But the logic is, if this didn't happen, maybe we start too late. And I mean, fuck, if we started 3 years after we would have, the market's already saturated with podcasts.
Well,
we don't have the same success.
I have your proof right there. We would have, because I would have signed a deal. And we would have had to have started 3 years after.
And then if it's a testament to the way everybody should look at things, because if shitty things happen to you or someone tries to do something shitty to you, you should look at how you can turn it into a benefit to you. Right? And then think about that, because if Chris Rock would have immediately gone on fucking Joe Rogan and started talking shit or like telling the story or whatever, he's wasting it.
Yeah, he's wasting
Well,
it.
there still would have been benefit. No, there would have been initial benefit. I wouldn't say he's wasting it. He's just not getting the maximum value.
You're right.
He's still getting benefit from it.
He'll still get ticket sales.
He's still going to be popular, and get ticket sales and stuff.
But you're right. Tom's always, and he does this with our company. Thank God he does. You're always trying to find the maximum value. Wait. Don't react. We don't want to make a bad move. We don't want to go too soon or too late. We want to do it just right.
Yeah.
So you're saying I want to go out there and have something really bad happen to me and my dojo will just explode?
Well, it depends, because it's got to be the.
What I'm saying is I need to step in front of a car.
Who's going to slap you? No. On stage and somebody goes up there and slaps
Another way.
That's not going to happen.
I get hit by a car and then I'm the one-legged karate techer that everyone wants to get
too fast to get hit by a car.
I like how Seth just runs out into a colonial. This is beneficial. Like, no, you idiot. This is not the same.
And it's going to be weird. It'll be weird having Javier in here sitting on the couch doing your business, running the dojo.
Javier put in his 2 weeks, but I talked him out of it.
You talked him out of it?
Yeah, I was like, sorry.
Did you up his money?
Quit. No. I know, actually, I did. I gave him a raise, and then a week later, he put in his 2 weeks.
What happened? One of those McDojos got in his ear?
No, family issues at house, to be honest. Yeah.
Sorry.
I said, get over that shit. You need to be in work.
Well, remind me to talk.
Make me money.
Because I got another story about employees, and then right after this. But we'll end with, I think this is the best thing that ever happened to Chris Rock's career.
I think everyone can agree that.
Yeah, because this is bigger than any movie he could be in,
except Beverly Hills Ninja.
I just think it's what the coolest thing about it for me is I've always been a fan, right? And then people, I'm not gonna at all insult him by saying he fell off. He just does what I think most people do. I mean, like even when we started this show, I would say that the show was just crazier, right? I mean, but with anything, you get into what you like, you get into your groove, you get into what you enjoy, and you live life a little bit, and that's what he's doing.
Well, Chris Rock he's still insanely popular and still selling tickets and still as big as ever.
But what is he, 58? To have this happen at 58 is freaking awesome, dude.
But yeah, you still get absorbed into the infinite content of the world, and you'll never, you need, for one thing to promote you and market you to the world to that much as what happened is an insane insane opportunity, and I hope that he utilizes it. And it seems like that's what he's going to do. And that's my prediction of what he's going to do.
Yeah.
And wait until, because I started...
They're writing it down. Christine wrote it down. We're writing the prediction down. Tack on my crazy part too, Christine.
My other prediction is that his hour-long comedy special about this incident and the whole thing will be the biggest and most viewed comedy special and the most expensive special, or as far as what he gets paid, of all time.
Bigger than Chappelle's.
Well, if you get...
you're not comparing. You're just saying for him.
I think bigger than Chappelle's. Now... obviously Chappelle did 5 different ones and whatever, so it's a lot more. I'm saying one single one.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because it's just going to be the single hour or whatever, and then it's easy enough for him to, like, he can use some of the stuff that he's already has.
What was the one that the original Chris Rock special that I had it on CD?
Yeah. I mean, that's, and now that
crazy, right?
It was a different time
on CD. I went into Specs Music and bought it.
Really?
Yeah, I was all anxietied out because I thought they were going to say, like, you're not old enough to buy it. Yeah, they didn't give a fuck.
So, Seth, before we move on to employees, because I got this story that happened to me in a convenience store 2 days ago, but I
bigger and blacker. Thank you.
I started thinking
exactly it.
About like now what happened to you with Kimbo is a different scenario in the fact that no one
my career didn't go anywhere after,
No, it did.
It was the biggest single.
You just didn't take advantage of it, just like what
you did.
I tried. I had a wife that was my manager that was supposed to try to do
dude, wife managers are the best.
You had a wife manager?
Yeah, she was the one that did everything. Every time people tried to talk to me about it, I'm like, talk to my wife.
I have a wife manager. She interrupted you
and
earlier.
She was such a hardcore, like, no, he will not do it for this money. He will do it for this, and then he'll do this. And then she bid me out of everything.
Did she have an experience managing a fighter?
Absolutely not, but she was very good.
Why did you do that?
But she was very good at being a mortgage broker. She was a good salesperson.
You're so stupid.
Yeah, I know. I was a fighter.
Why did you get a fight manager?
Because they take a lot of money.
So was your chief.
Yeah, she took a lot too.
She took a lot of money.
Yeah. At the end, she did.
Oh my god!
Took a whole business.
Oh, we should do that. We should do the money and see who would have taken more.
Some guy was talking to
Let's
me
run the numbers
over the weekend. It's like, I did some work over Seth House. He was nickel and diming everything.
I know.
Wait, what?
And I'm like, he's cheap. I'm sorry. I was like, I know.
I was nickel and diming stuff.
Well,
everyone tries.
every nut and bolt guy that we know, he's helping us with the Airbnb. Anyway,
oh my god.
So, anyway, the Kimbo deal, that was last minute, and they expected you to lose that fight, obviously, because you were fighting underweight and underclass.
In their opinion, underclass.
But it was the public riding that, perception, right? I mean, they're like, of course, this big, menacing looking.
Yeah.
I've said this before. I always thought Kimbo Slice looked cool as hell. But most people I knew, any other fighter in this town that I knew would be like, that guy can't fight. They'd all say it.
Yeah.
They'd all be like, he'd get beat if he came to my dojo, came to my, jiu-jitsu gym.
It's a little different because it's like they just gave you an opportunity and you capitalized on it by winning. So it wasn't someone doing something shitty to you, although...
Did you think at all to not do it?
No.
So it was always...
It was always, yeah. As soon as they asked me, I didn't even care the money. I said yes.
Which
was stupid. I should have been like...
No, I don't think it's stupid because how often do shots like that come along, right?
Exactly.
It's kind of like what Tom's saying.
And if I said no and wanted to negotiate, they probably could have went to somebody else.
Yeah, they'll get your opponent. Yeah, exactly. You were supposed to fight that night and be like, well, you do it.
I had an advantage because I was from Florida. It was in Miami, so they wanted a local guy to go against him.
Ah, okay.
O-Town versus...
Gotcha.
What's Miami? What's their...
Kendall.
Yeah.
What's the
305.
305.
What are we, 407? Are we even that anymore?
I'm 321.
I thought that was all gone.
Not as much area codes.
Like
people
for Lucia, it used to be 904,
yeah.
And then they were like, I remember my dad was so mad.
That's a 90s thing. Like,
dude, my dad was so mad. He was like, we used to be 904, now we're 386. He hated being 386.
I'm pretty sure like phone numbers.
That's Jacksonville.
Like phone numbers are just numbers to people. No one even knows them nowadays. It's just like your cell phone knows them. Like no one remembers phone numbers.
Like,
yeah.
I remember mine from my childhood. That's it.
Call my dead parents. 386-734-8039. That's their old number. See if they pick up.
So, real quick, before we go to break and do some news, I'll tell you a quick story, and it has to do with employees. So, 2 days ago on a Wednesday. We had a long day, and me and Daniel end up at.
Are you gonna make fun of me where you made me climb the cabinets like Billy Barty?
So
motherfucker.
We and BDMs will have all the access to our new project, but I'll mention that we're starting an Airbnb. Again, BDMs know about it, and it's primarily only going to be BDMs.
If you want to know about it, you just got to sign up.
If you want to stay there, all that stuff. Anyway, we're in the process of staging it and decorating. Me and Daniel had to, like, right after the show on Wednesday, run up there. Daniel's climbing. We're putting art
we have
up
a baby ladder, and then I'm shimmying up this thing, and then I'm trying to stick these goddamn 3M command strips to hang vanity photos.
Oh, you guys want cheap command strips? You guys don't do the screw and then the actual.
I want to do wing house. I want to go straight wing up.
Cheapos. You cheapos.
Well, we thought it was going to be
cheapos.
easier. We thought it was going to be easier.
Easier until about like 2 months where they just
2 months,
5 minutes.
Exactly.
Whatever.
There's going to be 2 big fat chunk guys in there fucking in our Airbnb, and then all the paintings are going to fall on top of their big fat flabby body.
I'm not going to to cheap out on the toilet. If you haven't got it yet, I'm getting it and putting my face on it.
No, all right.
Our toilet's too small in our Airbnb.
I know.
None of our listeners can take shits.
That's why I'll sponsor a big fat toilet.
We're getting a new toilet. But
Thank God.
Anyway, we're hanging the goddamn the paintings and everything right. The command strips didn't work. I had to go to a meeting. Daniel's sitting there shitting and they're falling off.
I was shitting in the one I hung of him.
It's the heat from your shit. That's what did it.
It was hot in there because he won't let me run the air. He's like, don't run the air in the afternoons. We're not on at least yet, and it's not in our name. I'm like, well, what the fuck? It's still in somebody's name.
You're very honest.
He's like, turn the air off. And he's yelling at me. I'm in there shitting. It's hot. Then I hung a painting. It's as big as that wall panel right there. That's how big it is. It's huge.
Oh, it's big.
It's behind me, and I'm sitting there. It's like, bang, and then it smashes into my head. There's shit coming out of me.
Anyway,
you got to take advantage of your surroundings. Use other people's air. When I was rehabbing houses, I went to the neighbors, took their hose, used all their water the entire time.
He took their cable box and returned it. He drove it to the Spectrum people. I'm like, why'd you do that? Leave it on.
Yeah, you're very honest.
Anyway, long, stressful day. So on Wednesday, it was at night. I'm trying to not, drink alcohol during the week. It's like I'm trying to cut that out.
Thank you for your service.
The weekend.
Good job.
Well, more for health benefits.
What's that going to help?
Nothing. But on Wednesday, since it was I'm like, stressful day. I'm going to, I deserve a couple White Claw. Didn't have any, so I had to go up to my local convenience store to get some White Claw and then, some Barefoot for the old lady.
Yeah.
Because I'm drinking, she's,
Well, that's just being polite.
We enable each other. So I go into the convenience store and I go over to the White Claw area. And then I'm looking. They got all the variety
things
packs.
Have changed, right? When you have a White Claw area.
Well, they got all 3 variety packs, and I'm looking for the passion fruit because then now they got
the number 2.
Yeah, number 2.
It's like 2B,
and they got passion fruit as the new flavor. I'm looking for that. And
get out of here, Mango.
Tell me if you guys have this. I know you do because you guys are more paranoid than I am. I'm never paranoid about anything, but when I'm in a convenience store at night.
Oh, you think your dick's out?
No, because of all the movies that I've seen, it flashes through my head that I'm going to be in a convenience store, like in the back, looking for something, and it's going to get robbed.
Yeah, I think that's sometimes a lot.
And I think it's because of the 90s movies we've watched, so there's a lot of
it's because statistically that's what usually gets robbed at night.
But where I'm at, it's never going to get robbed. It's never going to happen. But
I know where you're at.
You're right.
And it just got robbed. Wasn't that the one where the lady died behind it? They found her in the woods, and you say, "Don't talk about it. We knew her."
That was natural causes. Anyway,
natural murder.
Yeah, that's pretty natural.
But even though I'm always rational and I don't have irrational fears, things like that do fly through my mind because I'm not a crazy. I'm not
through.
It gets in my mind with I'm looking through it, and all of a sudden I'm going to hear because I think to myself I'm going to run through the sad business management office here because there's a door there with a bunch of paperwork.
You don't say a word. You just stay quiet.
Do I hide in the back?
You hide in the cooler.
You grab 2 cans of Chef Boyardee and you hide down. If they get closer,
you say or you go, "I'll help you kill them. Take me with you." Like you say that. Join their gang. Join their gang.
I don't give 2 fucks, and I'm sure the employees don't give 2 fucks that you're robbing the place. They're
take everything. Yeah.
Anyway, but there's also no money because everybody uses credit cards. So I'm sitting there. I'm looking for the White Claw collection too, and all of a sudden I hear loud curse yelling, and to the point of people are like, hey, fuck this shit, man, fuck this. And then I'm like, oh shit, it's happening. Like
Somebody clip that.
It was loud, aggressive cursing, right? Fuck this shit.
I heard the accent.
So immediately,
Eastern European.
I think, oh shit, it's happening. Like,
Fuck this shit.
But then I look over. And I may have taken my back medicine, so it's and then I look over, and there's one person waiting at the cash register, and the people cursing are the two employees, right?
They're gonna rob the customer. I've never seen that before. That's a new flex. I've never seen that.
And they are just
a great idea.
Screaming, "Fuck
Give me
this!"
their credit cards.
So I get my White Claw and I stand up, and then I slowly make my way over to the counter, and then the two employees are still cursing, saying, "Fuck this shit, let's quit!" Like, come on, whatever his name is.
They weren't arguing. They weren't arguing with each other.
No. They were screaming
Come
out,
on, Banjo. Let's go.
They were like, "Let's quit this motherfucker. Let's walk out." Like,
Let's kill everybody in here first, though.
No. And they were screaming, like they were talking to each other loud, like didn't give a fuck about, like, there's one nerd that's standing.
I'm just trying to pay for my taquitos.
And me, and it was a Castleberry nerd dad, so they were a little,
and
jean
a
shorty. So, and then the guy
need a do-rag for a PTA meeting.
The guy's just standing there, and then both the employees are like, "Fuck this, let's quit, let's walk out of here." And the other guy's like, "Yeah, let's do it."
Yeah.
He literally throws down a carton of cigarettes that he has on the floor, punts it like a football.
These cigarettes.
It turns to both of us that are standing there. It's like, to me, I'm holding my White Claw. And
what do you want?
And then he's like, "Hey, he's like, fuck it, we're walking out. You guys want this shit? Just take it."
Oh, nice.
Oh, dude, you should have called me. I'd have emptied that motherfucker.
Yeah.
So
I would have brought my new truck.
Yeah,
and loaded it up.
hell yeah.
Rob a convenience.
They're
Why
letting
not?
us.
It's been a bucket list thing for me.
So I
This
was
doesn't
like,
happen very often. You said we're supposed to take advantage of these type of things. The worst thing could be the best thing. You just said that. You liar.
Yes.
I was like, holy shit. And like, so then they were like, just walk out with this. And then the other guy's like, fuck it, let's get out of here. I thought they were going to leave. And then the guy in front of me was getting ready to walk out. He was like, fuck it, I'm taking it.
Free do-rag.
The scenario went through my mind
I'm
where
going to take some of these penis pills with me.
they still have
a lottery ticket.
They got video cameras, and for sure the owner's going to look, and I don't want to be
But
on
it's
video.
not stealing. They said you could have it.
Yeah, it is
They're not
stealing.
going to go after a $6 thing.
No, that guy's in charge.
$17.99.
That guy's in charge.
really?
He said you could have it.
Yeah, but I'm
It's
not
on his tab.
I was thinking I'm going to have to leave the shit and just walk out, go to another place. I'm not going to steal it.
At least one sleeve of Grandma's cookies or Sour Patch.
So then,
Or 25-cent banana.
so then they were like, whatever. We're just
That's what I would have. Healthy.
they're like, we're just fucking around, whatever. Like, and then they continued.
They said they were just fucking around?
Yes, they.
What?
First of all, they had it, and
they were TikToking you, dude. That one guy was. One of them was filming the other one.
They did not give a shit. They were just the entire time fucking making jokes, cursing, whatever. And then I'm like, this is where we're at. We're like, I liked it. I laughed, by the way. I don't give a shit. But I'm like, these people know that there's nobody taking their jobs. They're not going to get fired. The goddamn store is dying for employees.
They're trying to do a video, right?
They hate their jobs. They weren't doing. They just didn't give a fuck. And
Well, how'd they say they were joking then? That's how they covered it up. We're just joking.
They may have been serious at the time and then just
I'm
switched
confused on that.
opinion.
That's nuts.
They didn't give a fuck.
Did they check you out?
They checked me out, and then while I was putting my White Claw, they're like, "Can I see your ID?" And I was like, "That's weird."
That's
And
right.
You
then
just quit.
And then I was like, "That's weird." They're like, "I want to make sure you're not a cop." That's what it said. which is
Does an
the best
ID?
punchline of it.
What?
I mean, they're not the smartest, but also
I could get fired for this, dude. Like, what the fuck is happening right now?
they just didn't
God.
give a fuck. They were I'd never seen them before, so it told me they were new. They don't give a fuck about the job. They were openly cursing,
Wow.
didn't give a shit, and then
This is where we're at.
And
That's
I'm
why
like,
your
is there-
McDonald's takes 2 hours to get it.
and
I mean, I feel them. I did the same thing when I worked for companies.
but to that.
Not argue, but I just.
God, I've always been a good
Did bad
employee.
things.
But But at the time, you were like basically trained in your like mentally that you had to act a certain way because you're going to get fired. We are at a point now. Maybe they do get fired because someone complains about them, but I doubt it because there's no one else.
So what you're saying is if people that people look up to or hold value or merit don't adhere to social norms and rules and get out of their seats and just do whatever they want, i.e. like slapping people, that we eventually, when you go to buy your foxtail wine or your yellowtail or whatever, that eventually you'll get two knucklehead monkey people jumping around acting like just complete animals? They might happen. I see it.
I didn't care.
I can see it happening.
It was just the point of it doesn't matter because they weren't worried about getting fired, so their behavior didn't matter. So, again, I thought it was funny. I even told them, I was like, man, this job must suck.
Did you ever work That's good chirping right there. Did you ever work a convenience store job? My buddy Will did.
No.
My buddy Will did, and he enjoyed it.
Certain type of people like work.
It was quiet. He loved it. He worked at a Fina, and he would sell, the normal stuff, the hot dogs, the buns.
It doesn't look hard.
I looked into buying a gas station once with my brother.
He enjoyed it.
When we were rehabbing houses, it was like an investment opportunity, but I was like, it didn't seem like you made much money on anything. The gas, you did.
I think
or the gas you didn't. It was everything on the inside that you made money on. You broke even with the gas.
I've always secretly
25-cent chips, and you're selling them for $3.
I have always secretly wanted to. You can file that into my living under a bridge deal, like quiet gas station, rural town. I'm just the guy. Oh my God, it's a dream
until
job.
the Terminator shows up and shoots you and looks for somebody.
The problem.
I know. It's terrible.
Here's how they fucked over convenience store workers: is they started like before they had all the goddamn food items. It was easy. You went and you got like your chips and your candies and your beer and your cigarettes, and then you cash them. And now they have you have to cook their pizza and you have to prepare food like your goddamn pressed Cuban subs.
And just the lottery. Just lottery alone is too complicated. Too many different games and different tickets and denominations.
It takes so much time when you're in there. I don't ever go to a gas station anyway. I don't know the last time I went to a gas. For what?
Yeah. Seth doesn't
How do you get your snack foods and your poison
drinks? He doesn't eat that. He eats birds.
I literally stick my card in, and I get so fucking pissed when the card is like, please go inside to see. When that happens, I kick the fucking thing. I walk in, and I'm like, why the fuck doesn't this take the card out there?
They don't know.
Bullshit. They don't know. They can fix it. And when they're out of hand sanitizer, I kick that too. Because it's always empty. I'm like, why do you have hand sanitizer?
You're the employee. They don't give a shit. They're just
they don't give a shit because they're not filling up the hand sanitizer and making sure their machines work correctly.
God, the whole chat room is like, nobody goes inside. I love it. I'm the only person that goes in. I drink sodas. I drink copious amounts of sodas. I'm in Walmart all the time. I am.
Yeah, me.
I love the gas station.
Guess what? You're standing in line. You're like everybody's a trash person, including myself.
Yeah.
Last time I went inside was like a year and a half ago with Travis when we went on that night out in the town. I walked in to buy an apple fritter. High as hell. I got fucked up. But the last time
apple fritters are good.
Oh, they're the best thing.
I support an apple. You know why? The crust.
Because
they're fried and they're soft in the. Yeah, they're really, really good. We got to take a break.
Let's take a break.
Keep you on the schedule. The name of the band, The Lagoons. This is a chill vibe, man. I've been trying to pick really good music for you guys and really throw it all over the place. We got great music today. This is The Lagoons. The name of the song is California. It's super breezy, a little shoegaze action. We'll be back with more A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan momentarily. 1-844-TOMNDAN. That's our phone number. show@tomanddan.com if you have an email. We'd certainly like to hear from you. Samantha's in the chat room. Hope you're having fun on your cruise, Sam. We'll be right back.
If you're looking to redo your home, one of the biggest and best things you could do is the flooring.
Yeah.
Because it's the biggest square foot in your house, and it's going to make the biggest difference presentation-wise, looks-wise. You're going to feel like you have a brand-new house when you completely redo the flooring.
Well, unless you have pee-pee dogs. If you got pee-pee dogs like me. Well, even then, the luxury,
get some luxury vinyl plank. It's waterproof.
You got to go luxury vinyl planking if you have pee-pee dogs. But upstairs in my bedrooms, we put the pile on this carpet. This stuff is so thick. It's so nice and cush. And it was all done in less than a week, my entire 4-story townhome by our good friends at Home Floor Store. They quoted me like, I want to say a week and a half installation. Nah, a lot faster than that, a lot cleaner than that. They could lay that luxury vinyl planking right on top of the existing tile. They saved me and my family a lot of time and effort. And the fact that they can bring the samples, you can do basically that introductory, that like icebreaker deal where you sit down and you're like, oh, this is kind of our idea. You can do that right in your own living room, which is a lot more comfortable than having to go to some stupid, thing. You're walking around, you're waiting in line, you're trying to find a person to help you. No, just schedule an appointment and have them come to you.
I got a text from a friend of ours that asked, they're like, hey, I want to redo the flooring. Is At Home Floor Store worth it? And I'm like, you can do your own math and do your own, go out.
Just do it.
Get a quote from At Home Floor Store and look at other big box stores. They're going to be cheaper.
Yeah.
They're going to have better quality product. They're going to offer a better experience because they come to you, they come to your house. They can leave the product at your house so you can put it on the floor if you're looking at different colors or different styles of wood or vinyl plank, or like in my case.
It just makes it easier from top to bottom.
I did that wood-looking plank tile. So
always having to one-up me with the better stuff. He always has to one-up me.
Their installation is great. Their demo team is great. It's a great experience, and you're getting a better product for a lower price.
Yeah.
It's that simple. It's at homefloorstore.com.
Welcome back to A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I am Dan.
I'm Tom.
Seth Petrozelli is here. I didn't say that earlier.
No, you didn't. I just let it go.
Yeah, we just went right into the show. No, you are important. What's wrong with you? You okay, buddy?
Yeah.
Oh my God, this guy is always so sad. Okay. He's so tortured.
Well, I have a reason. I don't want to talk about it now. I'll say it at the end of the show because I want to send out good vibes for this.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, here we go. We're going to do the news.
Let's do it.
All right, let's...
99 MRIs trying to prove he's gonna die. The CTE is kicking in with every new hit at the gym. He laid out Kimbo with an attack, but the Russian won't call him back. And we all forgot about that fight. Just won't prove for long you're gonna die. It's Seth Petrozelli with your douche bro news.
Douche Bro News.
News today brought to you by JustCallMo.com. If you're injured on the go, just call Mo. The DeWitt Law Firm. What do we got today, Seth?
Mo should call my sister back.
that helps out.
She obviously wasn't good enough. What do you want me to say? I don't know. Like,
some clients make the cut, others do not.
Mo's a super smart guy, and he's going to hire great employees. And maybe your sister was just not.
Maybe your sister is so stupid she called the wrong number.
She's the highest numbers on all her.
Maybe you gave her the wrong number.
Well, she hasn't graduated yet. That's part of the reason.
Well, what is he going to do with that?
Well, an internship or something.
Okay.
Okay. So it never ceases to amaze me the lengths that people go to get fucked up in life, like get high.
Okay, yeah. So we're all here to get out of here.
That's why we're here.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So
I like getting high.
A drug addict, he watched his penis turn black and start to rot after he after he injected it with cocaine. The 35.
No, hold on, pause. I do not believe for a second that if you take a needle of cocaine and I stick it into my peen and I give it a shot, that instantly it starts shriveling and turns black. And no.
Well, probably from infection.
No, I'm just saying the way that this is framed is if he did it, he saw it, he freaked out. No, you have to do that for years, right?
Mm-mm. The 35-year-old Hispanic man showed up at a hospital with excruciating pain 3 days after the single injection. Doctors in New York, they found the skin on unidentified man's penis had died. It turned black and was releasing a foul-smelling discharge. The skin around his scrotum was also beginning to rot and peel away from the base of his penis.
Why do you need to put that? Why do you got to put the scrotum detail in there, right? Why do you even have to talk about that?
What made you pick this story?
Yeah, why do you got to put in the stink? Why do you even say that? You don't even need to say it in this. Just say the man's penis is in a horrible way. It is a very unfortunate way.
The patient admitted to injecting cocaine into the dorsal vein, which runs along the top of the shaft. Although he didn't
I don't
say
have
why
a dorsal. I only have a florsal or whatever.
I
the
have that
bottom
main
one.
that one up the top. It goes right down.
Oh,
It's like a
wait,
snake
is the,
running.
well, hold on a second. What's the top of the penis? The bottom or the top?
No, it's like the measuring thing. The top is looking down on it. That's the top.
There's no vein on the top of the penis.
Yeah, there is.
I don't have a vein on the top of my penis.
Well, I'm sure they're all different.
I mean, I got veins bottom and top, but bigger ones on the bottom.
Oh, I'm thinking of the P tube. That's on the bottom.
Yeah, that's
I don't
that's
know
the
nothing.
urethra.
Yeah, there's a blood vein. Now, did he do this because he needed a vein to inject drugs, or did he do it because he thought that it was going to do something to his penis specifically? Right?
Well, it says that he was a drug addict, but this was the first time that he did it in his penis.
I think it's a hiding the track mark scenario.
You think he just his toes and all the other parts that you usually inject shit?
he had his other veins were used. Were
Collapse
used up,
or
collapse or
whatever,
whatever. So he had no choice but to try a healthy vessel.
Well, he did have
in
a
the
choice.
genital.
It wasn't.
Well, yeah, everyone has a choice.
Yeah, there are choices there.
Okay, so it had nothing to do with specifically his penis. It had to do with he saw a vein there, and he's like, I need drugs, and all my other veins are used up. All right.
It's probably a rush too to do it. Like I don't know.
No.
Dirty things are like hot.
I don't even like getting down there without a guard on my razor. You know what I mean?
Really?
Like I'm not a big pain for the penis guy.
Oh, doctors did not address how the injecting the drug damaged his penis just one time, but it may be because he used a contaminated needle or left a puncture wound, possibly triggering an infection.
So then it would be possible if
go.
you were a cleaner addict to do this and get away with it. If you were clean.
Well, you can inject your drugs into any vein as long as you do it properly. But if you got a dirty needle, you're going to get an infection.
I think as a kid, maybe I saw some sort of science fiction or read some sort of science fiction where the particular, maybe somebody in the chat room knows what I'm referencing because I can't remember the name of it, where the human race in this particular publication, you could go and get a port installed for your drugs.
Oh, like what?
In order to not like in this particular piece of science fiction,
like a dialysis.
Yeah,
port.
but it was purely for hedonistic reasons. It's purely for just getting fucked up. I forget what
you know how they
might have
do
been
that.
a comic book or something. But I'm just saying, like, I'm surprised we're not at a point now where people go and you get, if you want to get fucked up, you put a port. Because look, I don't want to tear my body up. Just give me a port on my body for my drugs. And if I die, I die. But put the port in me.
You know how they do that, by the way. I went through this with my pop-up.
Yeah.
Like when he had dialysis.
Or maybe they do this.
And so they'll give you a temporary port, but it'll be in your chest.
Yeah,
and
I've seen that.
it'll be wired, but it's like you can get infections or whatever because it's not internal. So the internal port, they have to do a surgery that widens your vein first, like so, and then basically,
My God, like putting in one of those wooden things that stretches your shoe out a little bit.
Yeah. It basically, because that's the only way to get the port in. So they do.
I thought this was a dumb show, not Science Fridays.
I'm just telling you, they do the surgery that I guess they put two veins together, which basically pumps more blood through one of them.
We're
Which
not supposed to cross the streams like that.
Artificially widens it or whatever over time, and then when it's ready, they put the port in. That's how they do it.
That's nuts.
But I agree with you. If you did that, then you never have a problem injecting drugs because essentially that port is for 3 days a week injection of dialysis.
It's for use. I'll give you, for instance, like a guy like Amazing
you could
Jonathan.
use it forever, yeah.
You know, like a dude like Amazing Jonathan, R.I.P. Like here's a guy that's using drugs. It'd be kind of stupid of him not to get that, right? I mean, it would actually make his...
Probably hard to find a doctor that would do that for drugs. Like that's the problem, you know, like because you need a vascular surgeon to even prep.
Well, but
for
it's
your
like
port.
given, you know,
you
in
can
some
go to
cities
Columbia,
they give in some cities they give addicts needles, so they're not using dirty needles.
dirty
I mean,
needles,
like
yeah.
it's
And you
just
have
an
them all over
upgrade of
town.
that. I say get everybody everything.
I'm really researching these binaural beats that are supposed to induce like a drug feeling state while listening to different frequencies and stuff like that. Like they're trying to give to like drug users to like come off of drugs and stuff like that.
That's not going to work.
No,
not as much as
Drugs.
the Oxycontin or whatever, the heroin that they want.
But I read that it's pretty like there's users that do that and get high and all fucked up over it because it like does something to the chemicals.
I've heard that too, but I don't believe it.
I don't believe it, but I want to try it.
Yeah, I've heard it too, but I do not believe it.
Especially now with the Oculus, I bet you can have like the thing I downloaded, Trip. It's like it's supposed to like
Trip is
meditative
cool.
states. Yeah, so
Okay.
like something like that.
Can we dovetail to Oculus just real fast because we're giving those away BDM Appreciation Week. They're burning a hole in my pocket too. For some reason, I just want to use all the products that I've been buying.
I'm still getting nauseous on it, jerking off.
Nothing gives me a boner faster. Like, okay, it goes like this: sex with my wife, Oculus. And then way down the list is regular old computer. It's kind of fucked me up a little bit.
It doesn't have
Probably sex with your wife is first.
No, I'm just saying. I like the real feel. You know what I mean? Like,
in a fantasy world, sex with someone else would give you a faster boner.
No, you put the Oculus on. Watch a blowjob and have your wife give you the blowjob.
I don't think Andrea's going to do that.
Oh, really?
I don't think she's going to do that.
I haven't brought up to Tracy yet, but
I'm just saying that Oculus is up here as far as like you put it on, you load the video, you come into you can just watch a trailer and it's like Boner City, right?
No.
Way down the list is regular porn now. Way down the list. Like you can have it on in here 24/7. I'd be completely unaffected.
There's not enough variety yet to do that.
So I think the desensitization it started.
Yeah.
I'm desensitized.
The lowest version of porn now is just printed paper, right?
Oh,
like that.
yuck. If you
is there
have
anything
that, I feel
lower than that?
sorry for you.
Well, I guess your imagination.
Blind person's porn.
Well, you go to just using your imagination. Actually, your imagination is probably better than the printed paper. It's visually for guys, I guess the printed paper is better. Imagination, printed paper, internet, Sublime Thumbs, videos, Oculus. Real one.
You know where the sweet spot was for me, though? Because I'm an old man. My favorite was pick series.
What?
You start with the first picture starts with girl and guy.
Oh, pick series. Oh.
Yeah, like she's washing the car and the homeowner comes home to say like, why are you using my hose? You know, like that sort of thing.
And then the next
picture is he's yelling at her. Next picture is he's undoing her bikini top.
You go through them?
Oh my God, boy, did I! And I wrote the fucking scenario in my brain. I was like, oh yes, let me undo your bikini top. Like it was like I'm like doing the story. It was like it might as well have been a graphic novel.
I would just skip to the end or like the
the most hardcore porn.
Yeah.
Where it's cream pie and he's eating it out of her.
Come on.
Oh, too much.
Next story.
Next story.
Oh God.
Going off of kind of the last story about just wanting to feel fucked up. A completely paralyzed man, I think this is really cool, who was left unable to communicate for months after losing the ability to even move his eyes. Imagine being locked in a coma, awake, not being able to communicate.
Yeah, it's a Metallica,
How fucking scary
Metallica 1 video, right? Taking my eyes, taking my absolute horror.
But they used a brain implant to ask and to communicate.
Do you need anything?
And the first,
kill me.
You think that's what he would say? That's what I might say. But he asked for a beer. That was his first thing to say.
Well, he had a dad joke. He had a dad joke.
A lot of time to
composing
work up a dad joke.
Hold my beer. Oh, great. Oh, he's dead. Oh, shit. That was his last word.
At least it wasn't.
Hold on. The transmission, the coma patient transmission coming through, and it's a gas price meme. I like the one thing. You get one thing. Gas price meme. So
composing
so
sentences.
you can't get him out of it?
At just one character a minute. So it took him one character a minute that to say I would want a beer. Then it took him like 15 minutes to say I want a beer.
Spit it out.
Give me a
love of God.
The man, he's 36. He had 2 square electrode arrays surgically implanted into his brain to facilitate communication.
So, but that's it. He's still completely vegetable besides from this.
Yeah. As a result of
that is scary and
ALS.
crazy. that he is a prisoner in his own mind.
God, that's...
So can they go back and forth and now have conversations with him?
They now can have conversation with him.
This is the worst story. No, this is literally...
so he has the same thing as Stephen Hawking had.
I have a different reaction that most people should have this reaction I'm going to have right now. And you just had a little bit of it, but not quite as bad as mine right now. Once I've realized what is actually happening right now, I'm fucking terrified. This is the scariest thing you've ever talked about. You're being trapped in your own mind, and you're getting, and then eventually you'll get. It's like somebody sends a letter from the other side of this dimension, and you get like a letter from where you used to live and be a human, and then you send a letter back because it's not like you're communicating like regular people communicate.
It's the fucking fucked up. It's the alphabet on the wall.
I told you it's scary.
Oh my god, this is terrifying.
They're like,
scary, right?
They're like, it's Will talking to us, and a fucking crazy Demogorgon is snowing.
And the chat room's right, and the guy wasted his time by saying, I like beer.
Give me a beer.
He's like, what's up? 90s joke.
At least Stephen Hawking had some pertinent things to say.
I like
G.I. Jane 2. Looking forward to it. Ha ha.
Crystal gets this shit. She hasn't had it in a while, but she used to get it a lot, where it's sleep paralysis. Have you ever heard of this?
Yep.
Is that where you're holding her down?
I've done that. Where you wake up and for like it seems like it seems like forever, but it's only like a few seconds where you can't move, you can't talk, you're still paralyzed from your mind shutting your movement off from being asleep.
Yeah,
so you don't act out your dreams.
And she used to get this more often, and like back in her 20s, she used to be like, it feel like she used to think before, like this is information was readily available. She used to describe it as like a demon is holding me down.
She's one of those. She's one of the people back in the dark ages would think that she was possessed.
Well, because the feeling, she's like, I wake up and I'm paralyzed, and I know I'm conscious, like my eyes are open, I cannot move, and it's fucking sleep paralysis because I guess the chemicals in your brain haven't shut off what paralyzes you when you sleep.
Maisie does a version of it where she'll just get out of bed and walk to our room.
Yeah, it's like a sleepwalking.
Stand at the edge of our bed, and we'll be like, May, and she's just like looking at us like
it's the same thing.
Yeah, she's frozen.
Sleepwalkers
she's literally frozen,
where her brain is still in the sleep. I guess mode,
and sometimes she'll hear it
walking around.
Like sometimes she'll be like, if you can break it, she'll be like, yeah, like you can get to her, and then she'll remember it.
Yeah. By the way,
sometimes you can't.
You can wake.
It's terrifying.
You can wake sleepwalkers up, no problem. It's that whole bullshit of like, don't wake them up, they'll go insane or whatever.
If you wake them up, their face will stick that way.
No, they'll just wake up and be like, what happened?
Push them down the stairs.
It's fine. All right, next horrible story.
By the way, that is what I'm worried about because Maisie, our bedrooms are upstairs.
Oh.
And when she sleepwalks, she gets out of her bed, opens her door, goes down the hallway, opens my door, and then is standing at the foot of our bed. Again, terrifying. I'm afraid she's going to open her door, walk out, and then fall down the stairs dead.
Yeah, she'll be fine. She's an athlete. But then it's like, well, sleepwalkers like go outside and shit. Like they do
just
things
the
like
perverts.
that.
Just the perverts.
I had when I was younger. I had it's called something. It wasn't sleep paralysis, but I was awake, but I was still like in the mental state of dream. Oh. And I was doing that too.
Did you pee the bed?
Well, yeah,
you
not
shit
a lot.
the bed, pee the bed, everything.
No, but I used to walk into my, and this happened multiple times. I went to a psychologist for it when I was little. My dad told me.
All right,
but I used to like shake and like speak in tongues type, like I just speak nonsense like I was in a dream. like I was possessed. My dad's like, he's not religious, but he's like, he looked like you were possessed, and I kept doing it.
You look like a fucking
And lately, I've been having like in the past year, I
feel
do
bad
that.
for your parents.
I feel bad for your whole family. It's mutual. It's mutually disgusting on both sides of the relationship.
Like you're successful, but not worth what you put them
What's
through.
the price?
Your great grandma, like everybody. Your dad's still paying for it. Anyway, sorry. Next horrible story. I'm sorry. Oh, God, I hurt feelings.
I was trying to be open with you guys. What I was trying to say was because it's happening again, but not like that. But
wait, I'm
having very crazy, weird, like dream inside dreams when I'm dreaming and freaking out in my dream, I guess, and waking up freaked the fuck out and scared. So like it's been happening a lot more lately. And I don't know if it's something I don't know, I'm getting old and the things are going weird in my head, or if I'm just stressed.
Oh my God!
So anyway,
dementia killing machine.
Yeah.
That's what Muhammad Ali felt.
Muhammad Ali.
It's happening.
That's what Muhammad
Too many
Ali.
concussions. We didn't know. Also, are you scared? Like, I never understood. My wife. Okay.
Are you scared of dying?
So what? So my wife will wake up with a dream about me cheating on her, and then be emotional about it and feel those feelings for the rest of the day.
Yeah,
and
I'm like that.
That happened this week, didn't it?
No, well, it happens randomly, and then she'll be like, "I had a dream that you cheated." Like, it's always like you cheated on me, and
because your body doesn't know in a dream
cheated on me
if it's fake or not. You still
with
process
a man.
You still process the emotions the same way.
You ate his cum off a spoon,
and then she'll be like affected by it for the rest of the day. And
you hid your real, authentic gay self from me.
My argument is
sucking Seth's dick.
Once you wake up,
I wouldn't start with that dick. I'd start with a smaller dick.
And realize that it didn't happen, it should therefore end your emotion about it.
No, but she knows you so well that something inside of you is foreshadowing the real, authentic gay cheating you. You see what I'm saying? Like, she's predicting it.
But I'm like, you're not a superhero. You don't have some.
She's clairvoyant. Yeah.
And I think because that's what it turns into, because once you realize that it's a dream, then you should cease with that emotion, and therefore
you can't tell somebody else what to feel, sir.
The only thing that's going to make her feel better is to have her do it to you with me, and it'll make it all okay.
Dude, she came over here. The Bart Merrick team came over here on Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah.
And she was wearing a mini sundress. A mini dress.
Which seat was she sitting
Dude, it was gazongas ahoy.
But I've had dreams before, like I don't have dreams often at all.
Check the videos.
Once, like a couple times a year or whatever, and there'll be a scary dream or whatever, but if I wake up, I may have this split-second initial like feeling of, oh, that was scary, but I'll then... nothing more, because I'm like, it was a dream.
Well, that's because you're dead inside.
It's not dead inside, but it's logical, right? Nah. No reason to be scared over a dream. Why are you emotionally affected over nonsense?
Because why are you having it in the first place? Maybe that's something going on.
Maybe you're taking it too deep. Hold on. I don't think that she believes the dream to be true.
No.
I think the dream is just setting the tone of her mood, which is, that's okay. But when I have dreams, if I have a good dream, there might be times that I come in here extra chirping, and there may, sometimes I have a dream about, like, let's say my mom and dad. That's a sad dream, right?
Yeah.
So then I come in here, maybe I'm a little more reserved. I think you're trying to explain away human emotion, and that's not fair.
Yeah, see, that's why I said you're dead inside.
I don't know, why are you affected by something that you understand now is not true?
Maybe she thinks
forward.
It could. Maybe you've given her reason to think it could happen. Do you think you have given her reason to think that you could cheat?
No, that's not it.
Yeah, it's irrational.
Do you get emotional when you watch movies and TV? You know it's not fucking real, but you still see those things.
Lego movie.
But not anywhere longer than the actual length of the movie at the time. Once it's over,
like I watch a movie that's a really good movie, and I'll that will resonate me. Those feelings will resonate for a while because that movie affected me.
That's probably how most human beings work with their emotions. I just whatever's real
You're
or
just
not
a variation. Brock Beatty, God don't make no junk. Brock BDM says, I had a similar dream where my dad is alive again. It's fucking heart-wrenching. Yeah, I've had dreams before, too. Yeah. This is going to be really heartbreaking. I'm going to say this, though. I have had dreams, not recently, but I have had a dream before where I'm waking up. There is some humor to this in my mind for some reason. It's fucked up humor, though. Where I wake up and I'm like, oh, my God, my dad's still alive. He's not.
I totally feel you.
But I have woken up, and the initial injection of chemicals from my brain through my body for literally a split second. And that's why VR, can trick you, right? We can trick ourselves now.
Yeah,
we're at this point where I feel like my dad is still alive.
I've done that with my grandpa. When he passed away, I still have dreams. Yeah. Wake up, I'm like, I was just with him. Oh, and then nope. And then you realize.
Back to normal. Yeah,
but you have that initial euphoria feeling.
Yes, you do.
And it's a fucking good feeling.
Yeah, you get that jolt.
Yeah.
That's why people get addicted to it, I think.
Yeah.
So I imagine, speaking of VR, that in the future, right, you will be able to have a loved one that has passed, like experience them sitting in the same room because they'll have enough pictures off Facebook and enough video of him that you're like, speaking of deep fakes or whatever, like a company will be able to, you give them.
They already are, and I should have had it as a news story, and I didn't.
Yep.
I just read it the other day. It's not that. What they're doing is having you act in front of a virtual reality machine, and it learns it doesn't copy your thoughts and your memories, but it creates,
it mimics your behavior.
It mimics your behavior. So it won't be you, but it'll be something that mimics exactly how you would.
Have
or how
you seen what they're already doing with that? I sent you this article. I want to say 6 months ago. They'll take your mimics and movements. Like, let's say you have a very specific cadence, the way you walk and stuff like that. They'll capture that using what Seth's saying, and then they'll take pictures, still pictures or animations of older relatives that you have in your bloodline. And if they sort of look like you, they can weave that sort of like a 3D built out model
like
into the... Yeah, and they're deep faking your relatives to give them life. So you'll have a photo. It won't be a photo. It'll be more like an NFT. And that's why I pulled it, and we were talking heavy about NFTs. But it's like an NFT of your grandma, but you've never seen her. She's our great grandma. She's Italian, right?
Yeah.
You've never seen her. And they took who you are and your parts of her like lineage, and they weave it into her, so when she moves, it looks like she's fucking alive. And there's never been any video of this particular person. They just almost like it's like they retrofit it.
I've seen. I mean, I'm sure
reverse engineer.
It's like a Snapchat app or some like. So I've seen the thing where they take a still picture and they're able to animate it in some way, or like they'll take a still picture of a dead relative, or if they're able to animate it in a small way. Obviously, the as the technology gets better, this will be a thing. And then, so my point is it healthy? Like, so you miss the person, your loved one or whatever, and then you are one VR away from putting on and then having them be essentially in the same room, in a virtual reality room with you, and doing something or maybe interacting with you, and you're getting a piece of that, but I feel like
it's unhealthy.
It's unhealthy because you're not dealing with the person's death. You're just because it's the same thing with like in the movies. You know, the movies where the guy lost his family and he goes up in his attic and he watches just endless old family videos.
Well, usually he's a sniper and he gets revenge. He comes and kills everybody.
Well, usually they inject cocaine in the penis first, and then they do that.
No, I think it's very unhealthy what you're describing.
But you get a piece of that. And then,
you know what would be funny, though? Is like you guys are all sitting around. I'm like, hey, I got this VR thing. You want to see my dead dad? I put the VR on. My dad's like, you guys are watching me, right? Because we did the whole thing where we mirrored my phone. So you can see it on the big TV. We're all drinking White Claw. I'm like, watch this. I'll take my dad's pants off. I'm taking his pants off. I'm dropping his pants in Walmart. People are laughing.
Well, this is the...
push my virtual dad down the stairs. Because, no, that's what people would do. They're going to abuse it, is my point. It's not going to be where it's just like precious moments where you're sitting with your grandma. Next thing you know, you're butt fucking your grandma's and you're throwing her down the stairs.
You're walking in on them taking a shit.
You're throwing her out of an airplane to ragdoll to see her bounce. Because it's not real, is my point.
It's kind of like what I've told you before, or like you hugging your dad's twin brother, and just because it's your dad's same body, and getting some sort of like moment where you're hugging your dad again because
oh my god, you're gonna cry.
It's the same body.
It is.
It's
exactly.
Absolutely. So technically you are hugging your dad's body, which is real mindfuck.
Yeah.
And you never done that, so. Maybe
I have no interest in hugging my.
Wait, your dad? He had a twin?
He's still alive. My identical twin. Here's the only.
Oh wow!
It's a mirror.
Same voice.
Yeah,
really.
Same voice, same height, same weight.
Wow.
Same
he looks
style
exactly
of dress.
like him.
Except he parts his hair. It's the old G.I. Joe, Tomax and Matsu, whatever those two guys that were mirror image twins.
Yeah.
My dad was a lefty. Doug is a righty. Doug parts his hair on the right. My dad naturally parted on the left. Everything you think, when my dad shot basketball, he's left, like everything. It's like, it's crazy.
And but it goes to show you that who you are as a human is all in your brain. So it doesn't matter what, Daniel's not able to get any sort of comfort by having his uncle look exactly like his dad because they're, you grew up when they're two different people. So you see him, it's not the same, so
for sure.
You don't get anything from that, even though it's weird because it's exact.
I mean,
because it would be like my dad having an exact twin brother and being out there, like in my mind, because it's not, I've never experienced it. I would feel like it somehow is a piece of my father, and then I could see, but it's not the case.
Like that.
Yeah, it isn't like that.
Yeah, the other thing that's kind of interesting about that is I don't even think it was like that for my dad either. And what I mean by that is that famous joke, me and my mom thought this was the funniest fucking joke in the world. My dad actually said one time on a road trip, he's talking with his brother on the phone, he's okay, we'll be there soon. We're on our way up to Virginia to Martinsville. And he hung up the phone. He's like, Doug just got back from the hairdresser. This is like in the 80s. He's like, or it would have been early 90s because we would have had a cell phone. The bag phone in the old Maxima.
Yeah.
Remember when your cell phone would be mounted in your car?
Yeah.
And you'd have a receiver with a corded line like a landline?
Yeah, the car phone.
We had that for forever because my dad was a salesman. So he's talking to Doug on the phone, hangs up the phone, and my mom and I bust out laughing because he's like, Doug just got back from the hairdresser. He got a perm. I wonder what I'd look like with a perm. And he was dead fucking serious. He was dead serious. He wasn't like, he wasn't a complete idiot.
Yeah, because you think of the person.
He doesn't think of it like that. Doug was also the one that would get a perm. My dad would never get a fucking perm. He's not gonna get a fucking perm. But Doug would because they were so absolutely different.
Yeah.
Absolutely different.
You got another story, Seth?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I guess we're kind of on the subject of loneliness.
That's so sad.
Yeah, I got a story. Yeah, I got one.
Before moving out of Tokyo for her new job, Akari Shirai wanted to eat at the favorite restaurant she used to visit with her then husband.
I trust your pronunciation, too, because I think you would respect that.
It was pronounced correctly. There was one issue. She didn't want to be flooded with thoughts about her divorce by going alone. But she didn't feel like inviting a friend and explaining the situation either. So she rented Japan's Do-Nothing Guy.
Yeah, Andrea sent me this.
Their near-silent lunch lasted about 45 minutes. Shudai opened her favorite dish and intermittently asked questions. She shared memories of her marriage and showed him a photo of the wedding. He nodded and gave her curt answers, sometimes a dry laugh. He never initiated conversation ever. It was exactly what she wanted. So Japan has...
This is a business.
This thing, it's a business. It's called Rent a Stranger. And it's one person. He makes a living showing up and doing nothing for people. For any reason at all.
It's like a,
and it's brilliant.
He's just basically another human that.
It's like an escort.
It's an escort, but just for friends, and they just sit there and listen to you and listen to you talk. This doesn't work the opposite, by the way, because
I feel like this is also an Asian thing. I don't feel like we.
His nickname Rental-san. That's pretty funny. Rental-san.
I don't know if we're respectful enough for this to fly, right?
No, women are, but if you
most men, there's not enough discipline.
If you turn it around,
how would it be bad? Like I don't get why would it? What do you think we'd hire him and make fun of him? Or something?
I'm saying
we would hire them and try to have sex with them. That's what men do.
Yeah, I feel like there's more respect in Asian cultures, like just baseline.
Yes.
So I feel like that this works because of the way that they're structured.
Yeah,
their culture structured. I feel like we don't. This is weird to them. This is like it serves its purpose, right? Like. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that.
Well, I feel like it would work with anybody or with any culture, but I do agree. Like in Japanese culture, there is more respect.
Well, just like it's like tiny naps and little things. They're always doing things that seem extremely logical. Like it seems logical that having another human come along with
they're a bunch of Spocks,
so you can continue to. I see what you were trying to do there, but it still came off bad. Do you see what I'm saying? Though, like it serves its purpose. Like you get to still share the moment without it necessarily. You're still in control of the moment. Is my point.
I just don't think there's enough of a business for people to pay for it. Because how much is it? Like it has
$85 a session. He charges 10,000 yen, which is $85 a session,
which is about what you'd pay for therapy. So
and one of the things he is just a couple of things that he's done real fast is like he's waited at the end of a finish line of a marathon for a client who wanted to see a familiar face at the end of the race. Someone hired him to sit with them while they finished a thesis because they might slack off working alone, and he listens to healthcare workers describe the mental health toll of the pandemic. So he is kind of that too, I guess. Just so somebody can voice their thoughts.
And it probably helps because just doing this to a wall or an inanimate object doesn't cut it. You need it to be authentic.
A human.
Right.
Or we get the technology enough where a robot does this, right? Because that's where we're going, or a robot will just take the place. Because
I don't want a robot. I don't want them recording me. I'd rather it just be a human. That way it dies with them.
He wants.
I'm serious.
well, the robot's programmed not to tell your secrets. The human.
I don't know that.
Some stranger. You trust some stranger human that works for some agency?
More than a robot. The robot's gonna have recordings of me saying these horrible things. This guy's gonna like misremember the things that I did.
He once sat with a client for a hemorrhoid surgery consultation.
Oh man, that's something I would do. Hey, how are your roids? Because I fixed mine.
How'd you fix them? What'd you have a nut and bolts?
I just changed my diet and I made fiber Crazmo and I lubed that thing up and it's clean as a whistle.
They're there. They don't get inflamed anymore. They're always going to be there. Yeah, they don't go away.
Yeah,
they just shrink.
Mine went away.
It's like herpes.
Well, mine is still. You
don't have the sores, but it's in there.
Okay. Mine's still deflated, hanging like a.
No, I got nothing hanging now. Everybody released. Everything went back to where it's supposed to be.
My urologist saw it the other day too. He's like, "Oh, you got one of these back here, huh?"
He said that.
Yeah, he said something.
You got a tail back here. Good Lord, Chester Cheetah.
But they're always waiting, right? To flare up again.
This one actually is doing pretty good. Technically, I think you are correct. But if I just stay doing what I'm doing, I think I'm good. Because it was a grape, and now there's nothing. Nothing big.
Yeah.
I think that this is a great business model. Period. And I know it might not work as good in America, but there's still a business for it, I think.
Just ask Halsey. Just ask Halsey.
You never find the right people, though, and then maybe this lends more towards what Daniel was saying, is that this works in Japan just because
it's Japan and they're awesome.
Well, they have. I mean, maybe the pool of potential employees for this business is bigger because I feel like with the employee problems we have, like who are you going to get that is going to be the person that sits there?
Yeah, like this guy has to be quality.
Yeah, well, because you have to sit there and not have the conversation and not go back and not want to talk about it. Most people only want to talk about themselves. So for you to sit there and hold off and be supportive or whatever it is and just listen and be a good listener, who the hell, like you have to almost be in a category of a therapist because that's exactly what a therapist does. Obviously, they have training and they offer advice.
Not really. I can be a counselor.
Well, a lot of them is just you're being a good listener, and that's hard. Most people can't do it. They can't sit there and listen to your problems without helping you solve them. Like
or without having judgment. You can help solve them or help that person solve it themselves, but you can't have judgment on it.
Yeah, or give your opinion or whatever. Like most people just want the person to sit there and listen to you and be supportive, and that's hard for most people to do. So who are you going to find someone? I mean, I guess if you paid them $85 an hour, I mean that's good. But if it's a company, they got to make their cut. So you're paying this guy $15 an hour, and then you're getting shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But again, if a robot can trick the person into taking that, like, look what VR does.
But robots are far away. Actual doing what a human can do is we're talking about.
If it's just listening and the support, maybe you could program that into it. Because if, the robot's not going to be able to tell you quality advice, but if you don't want that and you just want someone to talk to you.
But what are you actually looking at to talk to? Just a big blue head?
No, I think Seth is right here. I think I'm going to have to agree with Seth on this and say that I don't know if the essence, and I don't know what to call this, if it's connected to like your persona or your soul or something that's like almost like something you can't describe, an intangible. I feel like the essence of talking to someone can't be duplicated by a machine.
I think in the future, we're not there now, but in the future it can. Like, look at that movie, Her. Have you heard of Joaquin Phoenix, where he falls in love with a Alexa-style voice
I remember
robot?
that.
Okay, yeah.
So that whole, I never saw it, but I assume.
I never saw it, but.
But the premise of it is this guy falls in love with just the AI in his fucking Alexa, right?
Gotcha.
And then the AI got good enough where our brains are not that smart, and like you can say soul and all that shit, but it's just a bunch of brains firing and stuff. I mean, people are more
chemicals and electricity.
Yeah, chemicals and electricity.
That's literally it.
Once we get to the point where robots can mimic close enough to our human brain to have a conversation with someone, a robot, like just an Alexa voice or whatever, where our brains get tricked into thinking, or you kind of.
I'll never be tricked.
like
maybe not trick, but you'll just lose yourself in the moment or in the session.
You know it's not a real person, but you don't need a real. The same thing with VR. You know you're not really standing on a building, but you're tricking your brain. I
still get scared. I got to get off the roller coaster.
Scared.
I went on the roller coaster ride one. I hit pause. And I was like, nope.
So why do you still get scared? Because it's tricking your brain. Yeah. Because your brain's easily tricked. We're not as advanced as we think we are.
I was about to jump out of a plane in a parachute, and it opened. And I was like, and I was like, nope.
That's a good one.
Oh, fuck that.
No. If you can get past its wingsuits, that one's actually really good.
Can't get past it.
Those guys are pretty impressive if you watch to the end of that. Because they land and they interview each other, and I think they're Dutch.
The only thing I can do while floating is like in space, because I imagine I'm dead, and this is what it might be like when I'm dead. Just
Here we go.
I'm in the universe, like, this is what I wanted to happen.
Oh, my God.
And
I'm serious.
And it doesn't have to be exactly the same. Like, all right, it's not going to be the exact same as talking to a human, but it's close enough to give you 80% of what you would have got with a human.
All it needs to be is a value, right?
If it's cheaper, and then like you sit there with a robot and talk to you for half the cost of the human, then you do it and you'll get 80% of the value out of it, and that's all you need, right?
I can see that. Yeah. You want to take a break?
I think the same thing with prostitution and all this other stuff. Like,
whoa,
it'll all go to robots. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I hope so.
Where you'll just go.
That way we don't have to and exploit women
in sex trafficking.
Or girls don't have to go to that to survive.
Yeah. You just go and have sex with
a robot.
A robot. It'll be 80% of
or like a robot horse or something.
It'll be like bolted down, right? It won't be like a movable walking around robot. No, it will. It'll be bolted down.
Just bolted.
Yeah, it's gonna be like it's no different than a horse outside of a Zayres where you put a quarter in and your kid rides it. It's literally gonna be a bolted down.
Actually, that could be the base for one. You just coat it in skin and put a hole.
I'm just saying, you're not gonna get. We'll never see the ones that are just walking around like, fuck me.
No, we won't see it. But in 100 years, you're going to see it.
See, that's why
I don't know.
That's why I want to live forever. I want to see what happens in the future.
When I
can't do it.
When I was a producer on the Drew Garabo show, we interviewed a particular gentleman named John Spencer. John Spencer and John Spencer Blues Explosion. Does that remind you of anybody?
No.
You don't know who that is? Like, nobody knows?
Never heard of that.
John Spencer's amazing blues, player, and he looks like a goddamn vampire, and he's got new music out, and we're going to play the single from him now. This is called Junk Man. It's John Spencer, and I guess a new band. So enjoy this. It's called Junk Man, and we'll be back with more A Mediocre Time momentarily. 1-844-TOMNDAN. We'll take voicemails next. Why don't we have a side-by-side for the studio?
Okay, I like this. All right.
Well, all these other nerd dads driving around, Baldwin Park in their golf carts, why don't we just get a side-by-side and just literally blow their tits out? Why not?
You can make it street legal.
Yes.
You put a license plate.
Put the little triangle on it.
Same thing.
Yeah, but I was so fast. So aggressive and durable. And I will push your stupid Easy Go right into a lake.
Also, you could go, you could just be driving down the street, just go off-road.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
Straight through a park, scaring every pee-pee dog, scattering them.
If you're looking for a side-by-side, you're looking for a four-wheeler, you're looking for a watercraft, a jet ski, a scooter, a dirt bike, they have it all at Seminole Power Sports, right there on Reinhardt Road.
They got the Can-Am too, right?
Yeah.
If you want to get an aggressive Super Dave styled party vehicle, they got it.
Yeah, they got cruisers and road bikes.
It's a bad website for me to go on. I have motorcycle fever right now, and you guys probably remember. I think I got this last year, same time. It's the weather. Anytime the weather is like this, and I walk outside, it's a little cool, but it's got that nice sun crisp on your skin. I just want a motorcycle.
Yeah, and when you go in there, if you want to talk to someone that knows us, Don Kuhn, one of their sales guys, they know us. Just tell them you want to speak to Don Kuhn about buying something. Go in their showroom, walk around. They got Honda generators. They got a ton of accessories. I use their service department all the time to fix my son's four-wheelers or my brother's dirt bike at the time.
All the Yeti gear, if you're like an outdoorsman, they got all that. And Yeti's they've rolled out like a series of battery packs and all kinds of Yeti gear.
Also, if you're in the Eustis area, Seminole Power Sports North is their other store and their other location. They got Suzuki brand.
Was that R1?
Yeah. Plus all the other stuff. It's SeminolePowersports.com.
I see Molly.
There There you go. Welcome back to A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I am Dan.
I'm Tom.
Oh, so peaceful.
I was just trying to calm you down a little bit.
Yeah, I
buddy.
need to.
You gotta chill out over there.
Seth Petrozelli's here. Real quick, before going to voicemail, I watched these 2 documentaries on Netflix. One is called Bad Vegan, and the other is called Tinder Swindler. And
Tinder Swindler.
they're both good. They're like docuseries, but they both are about like con artists, and it's super interesting to me because it's a trait that both these like con artists have that I can't even like. It's something that I can never be able to do, no matter what. Like it's impossible for me to do this. Just like scam someone
fully
knowing that you're taking
hurting them,
you're hurting them without no remorse whatsoever. Like it's
well,
insane
isn't there
to me.
Detachment there? Like, don't they not saddle one and two together?
Yeah,
I mean,
they have to be a sociopath in some aspect.
There's some detachment there that makes it weird.
Also, a super confident manipulator, and then also like preying on people's vulnerability and manipulating them to the utmost extent.
And
like,
usually, it's the most vulnerable, like the elderly, and like it's
in these cases, they were our age women or under, like they were like in some cases,
women
successful, but in other instances, like this is exactly what Bernie Madoff did to men. It can be anybody. Like Bernie Madoff,
I couldn't even just let that slide.
I was just waiting.
Fucking Jeffrey Epstein did this shit where they didn't have anything. They just convinced other people they were rich, and people gave them money. And so it's a very bizarre thing to me that all these people. And then I started thinking, I was like, do I know anybody in my life?
Yeah, we do.
And then I thought of someone, and I was like, man, this person is. I mean, I'll never say the name, but is kind of like that, where
Fernando.
They just put off this like they're rich and successful.
It's me. I don't know anything about karate or martial arts, but I pretend I teach them.
I think we know a lot of those people, though, and I think most people listening to this know a person within their circle, right, where the person has confident, like, right? You'd have to make a list of what these people have, these type of the
attributes, the qualities of their
confidence is king, right? That's a huge one, is that they act like they know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah, well, there's a lot. I mean, should I do this? Where you have to, in a certain, and everybody does this, and in most instances.
But the bad thing about you is you normally have a shred of an idea of what you're talking about.
No, I know, but like you.
That's what makes you not a good scammer.
Well, I'm honest, and I don't want to hurt people, fuck people up. But like there's other people that are confident, and you kind of have to fake it till you make it. That's a true story. Like that's a true thing where it's like, hey, act as if this. But these people take it to a different level where it's all fucking a facade. It's all about manipulation and taking someone's money. Then I was asking Seth if he's ever been scammed, and and it was like more of a promoter.
It was he kind of conned us, not a scam, but a con, I guess, because he brought us all there with the promise of paying us a certain amount of money. All the fighters, I'm talking like 20 fighters.
Now,
thousands and
when
thousands.
Was this?
It was after Kimbo, so probably 2009, 10, 11, somewhere around there. I don't know exactly when.
So it was a promoter wanting to put together
a big fight card with big names. Keith
so
Jardine.
Like a mega card.
Yeah, it was a good card. And they flew us to, not the Bahamas, to Costa Rica. Flew us to Costa Rica.
Oh, it's a bad news.
Yeah, that's when that was.
I think Costa Rica is under Bahamas, right? I think it is.
Actually, a lot of the offshore books are out of Costa Rica and shit. So,
but I feel like Costa Rica is scammier. I feel
it's scammier than the Bahamas.
I think it is.
Yeah.
And I think it's more beautiful. I think Costa Rica is far more beautiful than the Bahamas, but I think it's scammier than the Bahamas.
The resort they put us in was beautiful, so we got a free trip and a free stay out of it. But then everyone fought their hearts out, did amazing. Beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah. Was there a huge audience? And
that was the thing. It was supposed to be all televised for a pay-per-view, so it wasn't a big deal if there wasn't a big audience. The filming was the big thing. So maybe I'm talking like maybe 100 people in the crowds. For people that are fighting, that there should be thousands of people in the stands. So
was it in an arena?
It was at a resort in their resort area where they have like conferences and stuff like that. So
this sounds very Seychelles, doesn't it?
So it was basically in one of those, like,
a conference center, but huge. It was very nice. It was not like
it was in the conference room at a resort.
Yeah,
I went to a fight. It's funny because
you and I did
the first
with my ex-girlfriend, and then she got blood in her white jeans and she got horny. I'll never forget that. She got a little bit of blood. We were sitting tableside, and she got a little blood on her, and she got
was
horny.
Those two hotels outside of Universal that looked like. They're like twin hotels, the same size, whatever the hell it is.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Like a double tree.
That was
something.
the first radio event I went to as an intern. Like in December of 2003
You're
or something.
Still wearing that oversized gray business shirt.
Somebody just reminded me in the chat, I did get scammed by a shady wrestling promoter a few years ago.
So then with this one...
That's Fast Tommy.
Fast Tommy got you fight in the...
So I commentate. I'm commentating. I got promised, it was like $5,500 to commentate. So $5,500 supposed to get paid to commentate.
Plus you get the free stand.
Plus I get the free stand. It wasn't that much, but it's not talk about fights.
I don't think there's anybody listening to this that wouldn't say, hey, you want to go to Costa Rica? All you got to do is commentate. You get like close to 6 G's, and you're going to get a nice stay at a resort.
But the fighters were supposed to be getting like 10, 20 grand, blah, blah, blah. Camera people. Oh, yeah, full crew, everything.
Okay, so it looked like this could possibly be
Well, probably at some point, I'm going to guess it was. This sounds very Fire Festival.
It is.
Where it's like, it is legit. It's just we don't know our head from a hole.
You didn't get the pay-per-view deal.
I guess something like that, or the crowd didn't show up, or the certain people didn't show up to sell them what it was, or something like that. Anyway, long story short is, after you're done, you usually get a check. As soon as you get in the locker room, they hand you a check normally. So he was nowhere to be found. As soon as it ended, we're looking. What's going on? What's going on? So we all went to the guy that kind of put this together for him, who was also getting scammed because he was supposed to get paid. He's like, dude, I don't know.
Oh my god,
let's go to his hotel.
How many different fighters are lined up?
No joke. There was 20 fighters on the card. About 8 or 9. Close to 10. It was half of them and me and my co-commentator all show up to his
army of bad ears. Banging on the door.
You link your ears together like Captain Planet.
Ears across America. You're not going anywhere.
And we get busted in some. I don't know how we got in, but we got in the door. We got in the door.
Out his Costa Rican hotel.
He was sitting there packing his shit as fast as he could.
Oh shit! They found me.
We all caught him, and we didn't held him there against.
Stick a broom in his ass. We're gonna butt fuck you good. We're not gay, but we're gonna butt fuck you good.
We felt like we can get away with a lot more being in Costa Rica with this guy.
It's true.
So, make him eat his own penis. Why are you doing this?
Murder him.
We shit on his head.
We physically didn't do anything to him, but we said he can't leave
until
didn't shit
in his head.
Until
somebody
he
pissed on him. Pissed on his face.
What was he saying?
Yeah, please don't shit on my head.
The investors that were supposed to be at the event didn't. They had the money to pay. I have to wait for them, or I can go to the ATM.
Please give me a towel so I can remove this feces from my head.
He's like, I can go to the ATM and give you guys something, whatever I can get out, and then
I have a daughter.
So it went on for like 5 or 6. Like this was a 5 or 6 hour thing from after the event all the way through the night.
5 hours of your interrogation, your butt fucking with a broom. 5 hours of torture, and you'll never see your family again.
Yeah. And by the way, that's what con artists always like. I'll get you the money, and they get you fake checks and like bank statements.
They'll never get you the money.
So he went to. If I remember right, he went to the ATM. He got out like as much as he could get out.
Take the broom out of my ass. I'll go to
the like $600.
Yeah, it was like 1,000. He spread it amongst some of the fighters, which is pennies compared to what they were supposed to be getting paid.
Oh, suck your dick.
And then somehow from there to the going back there, he
died.
Dipped. No, he dipped and got in the car. We all went back to his room, and he left with something. The guy that put it together came back. He's like, he ran away. He got in his car.
We're awesome.
We're in his room. Everyone's looking around his room. They find a Rolex.
Shit in his bed.
They find a Rolex.
Shit in his Rolex.
They find all sorts of shit. They find his passport. They find all sorts of shit in his room. They all take it. They take his passport, rip it, throw it in a lake, or throw it in the rider.
That was what we wanted. There it is.
One kid took his watch. They're stealing everything in the room. His jackets, all sorts of shit.
Take the bed. This is the hotel room's bed.
Break the lamps. Why are you doing that? We're too stupid to know the difference.
I didn't take anything. I just watched all this happen.
Stupid shit on everything.
I didn't really give. I did give a shit. I was pissed, but I didn't. All the fighters were.
Did you guys have flights back and everything?
Yeah, we all had flights back. Thank God.
So you're there, and you might as well go down by the pool. pool and chill out for a little bit. This guy's gone.
Yeah, me and the co-commentator went down with one of the ring girls, and they hooked up. They had a good time.
Wait, so then you guys had a celebratory orgy?
Yeah.
Get the ring girl. Get the ring girl down. Hey, I know you saw us put a broom in that guy's ass. Will you still blow us?
No, I didn't. They had it.
They're fucking animals.
So, what was the other time you got scammed? Did you have a manager at this time? Was it your wife?
Yeah, it was his wife.
Your ex-wife?
You put a broom in that man's ass and you get your $600 or $5,500.
No, this was right after we separated.
Oh, okay.
I think
that's why the ring girls were involved.
So this is where you weren't managed.
Yeah. I wasn't managed.
You've been to an
Seth
orgy
not
before,
managed.
right?
I mean,
what's the
gone specifically to
what's
a no.
What's the most women at one time you've had?
Just 3.
Okay.
Just 3.
I like for you to say that to keep the chung guys in line. Hey, hit that, slap their cheeks a little.
Yeah. I mean, 2
just
is
a couple.
amazing.
A couple.
2.
1 time 3, 2 times 2.
I can barely handle my wife. I'm like, whoa. I'll have a heart attack.
So what was the other time?
I told you the other time it was wrestling.
And what happened?
No, that was you.
It was
idiot.
you fucking idiot. You promised me $100. Are you serious? You didn't know what I was talking about.
Should we do voicemails? That's embarrassing.
Well, I don't even count that.
That's embarrassing.
Because
you don't count it.
with exposure and then all this stuff.
Yeah, exposure of my misogyny exposure. Yeah, that's great.
We might as well
And
tag this
Sam
one.
yells at me every show. She's like, "You shouldn't pay him $100." I'm like,
Sam, really?
No,
Thanks, Sam.
Sam tries to get out of here as fast as humanly possible. This show's like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. This place sucks. All right, let's pivot to this one because it's the only place that this voicemail will fit.
Hey guys, Chris Black Mason. Listening to Monday's BDM show, you guys listening to the voicemail of the guy who is sticking things in his pee hole. Never had the desire to do that. Wanted to, felt the need to. Was banging a girl on the back door one time though, and got these corns stuck in the tip. Just thought I would let you guys know that.
That's a dad joke, right?
Yeah.
Got some corn stuck in the tip. I wanted to dovetail out of that into I witnessed the ultimate Georgia Blue Ridge Mountain dad telling his favorite spicy barbecue sauce story at a barbecue restaurant. He sat there and he was looking at his family and they were eating like spicy barbecue sauce. He's like, "Hey, you eat that, you gonna get the Hershey squirts." And then he does this. Nobody laughed, and he goes, Hey, you heard what I said? You heard what I said? I don't even know what the syllable. You heard dud I said. He's like, you heard it I said. If you eat that, you're going to get the Hershey skirts. I love those type of
every
people.
Every day is Hershey skirts.
Those are my people.
Seth, you brought up something earlier on the show, and speaking of something it never occurred to me to ever do, I'll come across these videos sometimes when I'm watching online adult entertainment.
Yeah, okay, sure.
And then
maybe on a reputable Playboy or Penthouse.com.
And in some categories where a man wants to have a bull or another man bang his wife, right?
I didn't talk about that.
No. I'll get to that. At the end of said act, the husband comes in and then decides he's going to eat it. But, I'm not. And then I'm like, it never even occurred to me that who would want to. I understand fetishes are all over the place and it's hard to understand.
I'll go up to Burger King while you're doing that. I'll be back when you're done.
But it's just like, why do you feel compelled to do that? It seems like an odd compulsion to me and a fetish at the end to do that.
Shouldn't they give you a warning if you're watching that and it's just a regular video of a guy with another dude fucking his wife? They should give you a warning. And now the husband is coming back, so I know when to stop the video, right? Because I don't need to see that.
Well, it's a different version of the spoon, and it's not in all of them.
I think it's worse than the spoon.
But it is. I guess you could make the argument that it's better because at least it involves also the act and your wife, and the spoon is just a spoon.
Well, I like the spoon because it's just utilitarian at that point. It's just like, take your medicine.
Next voice.
This is the one I meant to play. I actually played the wrong one. They were supposed to be saddled together.
Hey, Tom and Dan. This is Sam, the ghost.
Oh, by the way, let me just
What?
Because the chat room is asking, what's the spoon? Earlier on this show, we played the audio from a particular pornographic video where you had the bull fucking the man's wife, and then at the end he comes in a spoon, and then he has
the nerd husband eats it because
eats
Mr.
it
Bob.
Spoon. Yeah.
And by the way, and that in the video we watched, it was all actors.
Yes,
but they are mimicking something that really happens.
Correct.
Because I've seen the amateur videos on the X videos or whatever.
They're disappointing,
and it's like so it's a thing. It's a fetish for the husband to do that after, and then but there's also the other.
I think it's
other
for the
part.
wife too. It's like It's like he's like literally
I don't know what
bowing to the more dominant man by eating it. He's like, I am nothing. I am a piece of shit.
Yeah, I guess it goes into like humiliation, submissive, or whatever.
But anyway, this is the guy. Okay, remember the guy that puts the wooden thing in his peen and he shits in the airplane? It's this guy. He calls us back because he's
Hey, Tom and Dan. This is Sam, the ghost of Travis. Since this is now just a thing where I call in and just say the worst things I've ever done, I figured I would, and like a few of my employees or people I used to work with and employees have called me out asking if this is me. I should probably pick like a fake name, but I won't, so whatever.
Okay, do we want to feed this guy's ego and even do this? Do we want to do this, or do we want to stop this right now?
Well, now I want to do it just so his employees know it's him. Because if they're like, hey, was that you on Tom and Dan? He's like, no, absolutely not. And then now he's saying, like, my employees called me. And he's like, it was you.
He could just deny it, though. It's totally not me. Totally not me.
They know.
Should we continue?
We don't have that many listeners. Like, it's definitely you. If the employee's listening,
I saw you make the call.
It's definitely your boss. For sure. Okay, go ahead.
Anyway, I figured I would tell one as an adult. I had with my company started a new thing where I was working like some crazy hours and also trying to build a house. So I was living in a fifth wheel with my wife and 4 kids, and working like 100, 120 hours a week. So I was coming in and out at all hours of the night. So I had like a little shed my wife did laundry in that I would put my work clothes in, and I would just sneak in and out of the house in my underwears into them because my clothes were filthy and disgusting because of what I do, and then out of them just so getting dressed I wouldn't wake everyone up. And so about 9 months into this, I'm just miserable. I get up and I go to sneak out in my underwears to get dressed, and it's the middle of February. It is about 37 degrees and raining, so I'm tiptoeing out in my undies, and I'm cold and I'm miserable, and I only have about 3 hours of sleep, and I'm going to have to work 30 straight hours, and I'm grumpy, and I get in there, I get one leg into one of my pant legs, and I hear a noise. I turn around. My wife raises goats, and her billy goat has broke into the shed, so I turn and kick him out as hard as I can because I'm a little grumpy, and go to get back in, put one leg back in the pants, and I don't know if any of you all know this, but when you kick a billy goat, it's basically on like Donkey Kong, and so he comes sprinting in and just rams me in the ass, and I fly headfirst into a wall, and I see just absolute red, lose my mind. I tackle this goat out into a mud puddle, just football style, tackle him in, drive my shoulder into the ground, and am choking him with one hand.
I don't know. I don't know where I lie on this one. You know, I'm an animal lover. I just lost Caesar. I don't know if I want to do this.
Well,
I don't know if I want to hear a man. No. I don't know if I want to hear. I say we leave it right here.
Wait,
and we just assume. We have to just assume. And this man can never call again. And we just have to assume the goat is fine.
No, well, is he going to go on to describe him killing the billy goat?
I didn't vet this.
I need to hear it because I need to get pissed off more.
Yeah, so. I know you'll be really mad.
I'll be fucking
Look how
furious.
mad. Oh, look how mad.
If I ever saw something like that, I'd gladly go to jail by breaking both this guy's legs.
Don't be beating up a goat.
No,
I'm
not
sorry.
the goat, the guy.
I wouldn't have played this had I known.
Well, what did he call about before that he's referencing? Because I don't remember anything.
Well, he shit in the airplane and he stuck the dowel rod in his dickhead. It's that guy.
Oh.
How did you not? He explained that at the beginning. Do you listen to the show?
Well, I didn't know that it was the dowel rod.
It's
and
the
the
same
shit.
guy. I think we gotta end it here.
Well,
You can't
maybe
do
it's
that.
not that bad.
I hope
But if
somehow
it is that bad, I have to edit it all out.
I don't think he killed the billy goat with his
I
bare
hope something
hands.
else happens and stops him and he gets hurt. Worse
I
than
don't
that.
want to hear it.
Because I feel like it's going to be hard to kill a goat.
Or it's a lie.
Probably not that hard.
Or it's a lie.
Or it's a lie.
Let's just go a little further and just see.
And with the other, I'm just punching him in the head. Just
Okay, see, now he's punching the goat. He was choking it. Now he's choking and punching.
Still, goats are tough. They may not care.
Seth's getting
they're like
actively
mules. Like I saw a cowboy punch a bull in its eyeball one
did see-
time.
yeah, I
didn't
remember
give a
that.
fuck. It just it like minorly inconvenienced, blinked his eye.
Should we continue?
Well, I want to. I'm a little bit more.
Kong 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times before I start kind of calming. I look down and I see like his face is half in a mud puddle and one scared eye is staring up at me. And then I realized this isn't any way for an adult to act. I stood up and dusted myself off. Still had to now muddy and covered in pee-pee goat smell just get dressed and go to work. So it changed literally nothing. And so
but he gave us no update on
how's the goat? Is he brain dead now?
Yeah, what'd you do to the goat?
Fine. Again, they're a tough animal.
I think that now is this guy like? I think that's it, right? That's the 3. He got his 3 voicemails done.
Yeah.
I think he's good now.
Yeah. I mean, also, my God, some people,
Some guys just don't deserve to be on this planet.
Well,
don't abuse animals, for the love of God.
I'm talking about the
Most of the chat room agrees that they're glad we listened to the end of it, and you were right the whole time.
He's the situation of working that hours, living in a fifth wheel with you, your wife, and 4 kids, and getting changed.
Yeah, life
in
really
some
kicks your ass.
Most people don't believe the voicemail anyway. So
how about?
Yeah.
There are some people situations, and I hear them, and I'm like, whew.
That's a toughie.
That's tough.
That's a tough
like,
one.
You know, that is, people have rough lives, man.
They do.
Rough as hell. Like you start. We should do a contest where someone just tells us
Rat tail challenge.
they're rough. They're like who has the roughest life. It makes people feel better because it makes you appreciate. Like
yeah, but you got to have some. There needs
levity?
there needs to be like some. Things need to be off limits. We used to do this back at the radio station whenever we do like, hey, we need to get the people with the saddest things to call in. And then the first person's like brain tumor cancer with a child. And then you're like, oh, God, why didn't we wish this? So you see what I'm saying? Like you dance with the devil, the pale moonlight, you get the Batman.
I'm not talking about the saddest life because there's plenty of that and like unfortunate incidents and
roughest life, for the most part, is saddest life.
Yeah, you're right. It's hard to separate rough and sad.
Well, no, I'm just saying,
it's synonymous.
We need guidelines. If we had guidelines, if we're like, no cancer, you can't be born without limbs, like we need to set some guidelines.
Nothing to do with kids.
No
born
kids.
without limbs is better than losing limbs later because then you actually miss them and you learn how to use them.
I'm still thinking about that story you told about the guy communicating with the brain messages. That's terrifying to me. And then I read a story last night, and I almost didn't get to go to bed, of this lady. It's a recent story. They got attacked by the 3 dogs. 2 of them were pit bulls, and they ripped their arms and legs off.
Oh, God.
And
all of them?
Yeah, all. And then they...
drawn and quartered type thing?
Then they had to put her in they gutted her and pulled her intestines out. And then they had to they put her in a medical-induced coma, and then she came to and actually got to talk to her loved ones yesterday.
And she said, give me a beer.
No, that's what I think of. Like the whole thing, exactly. That you and I are similar in that paranoia aspect of it. Yeah, there'd have to be guidelines for what you're describing in order for me to play. If not, it's just going to go straight kid cancer, and that... It's not fun.
Yeah. It's got to be whimsical rough. Like, and it's got to be your fault, too.
A little bit, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like you do that. See, you do that. Like, when you give yourself a harder time, like on a boat day, and then you fall down the boat ramp, and your cooler explodes, and there's White Claw everywhere, and then a pelican is shitting on your head, and everybody's like,
Or, like, bad choices led you to the place you're at.
Multiple bad and incorrect choices
but just
led
like
you to that.
little choices, not like I chose to abuse this person or beat up this goat, not like bad things.
Yeah, like January 18th, I found out I had cancer. We were like, oh, God. We were like, that's so sad. I mean, I was too sad.
And usually when we would do these contests in radio or these things, let's find the roughest life, we'd start with cancer.
Yeah.
So when you start with cancer, you got to know where to go.
I thought about. I know we've done it a million times, but worst jobs. Again, like it'd be interesting now to find it out because
I want worst new job.
I bet you there's not as many because people are getting the fight. There's so many open positions that if you had a really shitty job, you probably would move on, right?
A lot of people are.
Like if your job is cleaning out, I'm sure there's a lot of people that work for companies and they have to go around and then pump out porta potties, right?
I did it.
I don't know how much that pays, but I assume the porta potty company has certain type of margins that the employees that drive around in the truck and then pump the porta potties probably aren't getting rich doing it, right? So therefore, it's a lower paying job that sounds like it's horrible. May not be though.
Do you have to pump it?
Stink is awful.
Do you have to pump it from the actual source hole? Why don't they?
How does it work?
Well, we don't do we did septic tanks, so we had to dig up where the septic tank was placed in. Usually we did it. My grandfather's company did it. Detach the piping that we attached to it, stick in a fucking giant tube that sucks it out, and literally like you hear it, see it, smell it, right into the
like liposuction.
You get down there with some sort of hazmat suit.
No, we're in. Sneakers and no gloves, nothing.
Yeah, what are you doing?
No,
he's wearing.
I'm wearing
right
this.
now. He's got a backwards Tom and Dan hat.
Yeah,
sucking it out.
But this wasn't me; it was my uncle. And every second, it's like fuck, shit, God, fuck, and then I go over top of him and fart in his face. You get even more pissed.
Now on a portalet though, do they suck the turds out?
Yes, from the top.
No, I think there should be a valve on the back, and you just run it to the back. Yeah, and then run it to the back and just suck it all out the back. And
like
then that way
there's an engineering reason for that. I don't know why.
I think it's cheap.
Like when you dump an RV, when you dump the brown water, like it's not that gross at all. Like you put the hose in these by the back tire, and then you put some valves.
Yeah.
The shit. I mean, you hear it go through there, but
then you rinse some water through.
But then you do the gray water, which is primarily just like shower and sink water, which is not doo-doo.
Oh,
and pee.
it's doo-doo sometimes.
And then that rinses out.
That's grosser to me because follow me here.
But it's not like you're seeing an open vat of feces.
I don't want the gray water. I was thinking about that when I was staying in a camper or like even in this cabin. I was thinking if they'd had a tank. Now the cabin I was in actually had a real sewer system, just like anybody else. And had real pipes, but I was thinking about I don't want to get that gray water on me. I got pasta sauce and oils and. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather have the pee-pee on me than spaghetti sauce.
What? Yeah. That's insane.
Pee-pee's clean.
No, not that. Well, it's all mixed. It's gross. Anyway, if you have a horrible job like that, email me.
Yeah, email us. Yeah, make us feel better. Let's try this one.
Hey, this is Brian, the stonemason, I guess drunk guy who's messaged a few times. I live in San Francisco. Sublime always sucked. They're a really bullshit band. And I don't know. I think I was the only one who realized that.
Listen, first, music's subjective, so it's impossible. But
don't be the elitist music guy. But that's not a good look.
But here's why you're wrong: the fact that they have gotten so popular and still people enjoy Sublime's music tells me that objectively they have to be good, or at least above 50% good, and to say they sucked is wrong.
Well, you said they're a bullshit band. I like them, but I will say
I didn't hear the band.
Bullshit in which
Some
way?
people didn't hear the band. What was the band they said?
Sublime.
Sublime.
I think a lot of, if you are a cool dude, and if you like indie music, and if you like it is, I think it's low-hanging fruit to assassinate bands like Sublime and 311 and White Boy Reggae Band. I think it's low-hanging fruit to start saying they're not good bands just because there's something that you don't like.
Again, it's subjective, but based on their popularity and the longevity of their music, I would say that you at least got to give them the fact that they struck some chord in society that made like, it was part of our pop culture in the 90s, and still it resonates with people nowadays.
Yeah.
I've never understood that. Like, even like a band, I'll take a super polarizing band that you could throw out there, like Smash Mouth. And then people will say Smash Mouth sucked. And I would argue, no, Smash Mouth did not suck. You might say that they suck now because you don't see the value in it, or you don't feel like their music lasted, or it doesn't slap the same way now. But I think it's unfair to say anything sucks, especially music. It's an art form.
It's impossible, too. It's all subjective. So, that's your opinion. Everybody thinks some band out there sucks.
I've heard that a lot, though. There are bands that I like, though, that get assassinated by people all the time. I'll give you some of them. The Cardigans. I love the Cardigans. One of my all-time favorite bands. Sublime. Not one of my all-time favorites, but one of my favorites. I do enjoy them, but they get shit on. Coheed and Cambria. They get shit on. But people are like, I hate his voice. So what
you got to do is you got to figure out, is there more hate than love for them in that kind of way?
Oh, of course there is, or they wouldn't be famous.
Well, there's more love for Sublime than hate.
Do you think?
Yeah, absolutely.
I rarely meet someone that I hate something.
I think for most things, there's more love than hate. For people in general, there's more good people than bad people.
Now, I would accept the argument that they're a little overrated, and you could probably make the argument that if Bradley Noel didn't die, maybe they wouldn't be as famous.
There are better reggae bands in that same genre than Sublime. I can say that.
You could argue that they're overrated, and I'll accept it. But to say just blankly they suck is stupid.
Well, because they became the poster because he died. They, unfortunately, and fortunately, because it is both. We were just talking about this best thing, worst thing, right? They were propelled into mega, even being more famous just because of how sensational Bradley's death was.
Yeah, the legend behind it, and
the 23 Club, right? Isn't he one of those guys?
27
or whatever. Yeah,
I don't know if he's 27.
But my point is that when it happens, it becomes legendary. Sad as it is, and they get like extra propulsion because of that. But there are other bands that do it better.
Yeah.
I think. You want to do one more?
Yeah, we can do one more.
All right, one more. There's a quick one. I'll just do a quick one. Let's go with this one.
Hey guys, Chris Black Mason. Listening to Monday's BDM.
Nope, not that one. Hold on, this one.
Hey Tom, Dan, and Sam. What do you think your greatest accomplishment is to date with T&D Media? Minus starting T&D Media.
Greatest accomplishment today. I had the first thing that popped into my head.
News guy.
I have one. Do you have one?
Mine is kind of cheaping out on the answer.
I think mine is kind of too. Yellow Brick. The first time we did the what do you call it? Foot golf. When we were standing out on the porch of that awesome. The first one, the one that went really well, and the news junkie was there and everything, and it was hot as hell. And he almost died because he wore burgundy jeans. And we were standing up there, and then we had the big check, and we'd raise the money for, I don't know, for whatever reason, that day is very important to me.
Yeah.
It's not our biggest accomplishment, certainly, but it's one that, I don't know, it rattles me a little bit. I like it.
Well,
there's that one.
There's individual things that stand out,
Hard Rock.
like the Hard Rock show and that going successful, even pulling off that land cruise, because that kind of had to get thrown together and a lot of things had to go right. But really, the biggest accomplishment is lasting this long as a small business. If you want to be 100%.
Past 5 years, yeah.
The fact that we are still going and
I wouldn't
operating.
say we're thriving, but we're here.
We're chugging along.
Yeah. We're like an old Blockbuster.
We have employees, and we are able to make enough to continue.
Sam says the cruises that we pulled off. That's a good one, Sam.
Cruises, yeah. But all in all, it encompasses the most, the biggest accomplishment is just lasting. I mean, running a business is hard as shit, and especially having any sort of longevity is hard. And the fact that we're still going after this much time, I would say is the biggest accomplishment.
That's a good one. What about you?
I would agree to the longevity for sure.
Yeah.
Same thing in my
with
business.
The jungle with the dojo or both?
With both. Well, the dojo I've only had open for a year now, but which is, I guess, an accomplishment.
Just referred somebody to your dojo.
I had the BDM just sign up yesterday, the day before.
Oh.
Just 2 kids, and then he's going to have himself and his wife possibly sign up too. But super cool.
There's
guys,
some
super
energy
nice.
rolling about your dojo out there. I had somebody ask me about it because they were dissatisfied with theirs. I kind of overheard it within the dance community, but for little boys, and they were asking about they wanted it more traditional. Like, hey, I'm your guy.
Thank you.
I got a guy for you that takes it super seriously.
But the jungle, about 15 years now, that's like a huge thing because there's so many. The competition out there, you guys know podcasts, there's thousands to choose from. So the competition's heavy in the MMA gym world. There's like at least 12 off the top of my head that I can think of in the 10-mile radius.
Yeah, oh my God, yeah.
So that's definitely an accomplishment.
We'll end it with this.
That and being able to run it and not be there.
I'll tie it back into the Bad Vegan documentary. I see things like this, and without ruining it, like if things start going wrong or whatever, like people will start asking investors and other people, like even though what was happening is totally insane, and they're like, well, I was bailed out. This person gave me $180,000 as a loan. And then I'm like, what? Jesus. It's just like, who the fuck do you know that just gives you $180,000 cash without even looking into the fucking chaos that's going on? Like, and that happens like with the Bernie Madoff and all these things. Like rich, like I guess
I don't even like loaning people $50, $100. Like seriously, I'll be like, what's it for? Like it's none of my business. But you know,
I didn't want to give my dad my second truck to give him to borrow for this week. I was
Damn.
I just who is loaning people tens of thousands of dollars without even looking into it is crazy, and it happens all the time. I guess the more rich you are, the more like that $180,000 is $180.
It's like $100 to us.
Yeah. So I guess there's that. So I'd loan someone $100 without even thinking about it, but it's just crazy.
It is. No, I agree with you.
I still though, even if you were a multimillionaire, you would think before writing someone a check for $180,000 that you do some sort of due diligence or just talk to someone around you, like something like,
hard, man.
Hey, I'm gonna give
That's
this
a lot
person
of work, Tom.
just like, hey, I'm gonna call one of your managers and see like is everything going like what's going on? No, just give it to him blindly.
Phone call? Nah.
All right.
I mean, but again, you and I are the overthinkers, right? We always look at these scenarios. I think our show is basically us reacting to people that don't. That underthink.
Think about it.
No, I think our show is becoming Tom and Dan react to underthinking because we overthink most things we do, right?
Yeah, but
and we don't understand it. We're like, how can you give that guy $250,000 just blindly and not even ask anything? No questions asked.
I don't like the term overthink. I think I appropriately think the right amount of time on something.
But no, it pulls away from other areas of your life, and because it has a negative aspect on what we do, because I can say that for me, I know I overthink things to the point where it's actually a detriment. So then you can't say it's a superpower anymore when it's actually taking your quality of life down. Like when your wife yells at you because you're obsessed about the Airbnb or whatever, that is a negative. And you have to put that, you have to add that back into the bottom line, right?
But it's a small negative compared to the failure of the Airbnb.
Oh, I agree.
If I don't think about it enough. Similar to the term overthink is used with athletes a lot, and
stress. Stress is a term that can be good. There's good stress too.
Yeah, but like an athlete needs to react in a sport, and sometimes if they overthink that they're not reacting, and then they're negative.
Slows them down.
It slows them down and they're negatively affected. So it makes sense in the form of an athlete, like, hey, you're overthinking this. Like, you got to go out there and just play instinct or whatever, because that makes you perform better. But any other thing, you should overthink a lot of the decisions you make.
Right.
Because if not, you're loaning a goddamn person $180,000 whenever it's a goddamn scam or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like, you're not appropriately thinking the amount of time you should have.
And the other thing I would add on to that is the relationship. What's the relationship? Because sometimes you won't think about it because the pressure of the relationship. Well, trust, or maybe you feel like if you don't give them the money that they won't love you or something. There's some other, something
There's
else at stake.
emotions involved, I guess.
Yeah.
Seth, what's going on with your dojo, except for you're getting a bunch of BDM monies and the advertising over here is working?
One signed up.
Did we get a cut of that? We get a cut of that, right?
Well, I don't know. I'm like, now
so each membership is what?
Oh, funny story. 2 weeks ago, one showed up with their daughter, loved it, had the best time ever, said this is great, the price is amazing. but I don't think I'm going to sign up right now. And Mike, he told me the whole story. He's like, well, why not? What can I do to change it? What's holding you back? She's like, nothing. It was great. I just don't want to do it. And,
no, I like that.
And Mike literally, and we literally train everyone.
Email me, I'll give you a prize.
If you do that, I'll send you a T-shirt.
We literally train everything to overcome objections.
Waste his time.
Well, there was probably a trial fee, so we usually got something out of it. But loved it. Was super happy, super appreciative. Thought it was the best thing ever. But then I was like, I just don't think I want to do it though. And there was no way
I'm
to
like that sometimes.
There was no way to
I do
overcome
that
the
when
objection.
I walk through the food court. They're like, "Would you like to try bourbon chicken?" And they're like, "Sir," I'm like, "Yeah, this is fantastic." They're like, "Yeah," I'm like, "No, I'm not interested."
But you said it was fantastic. You're like, yes,
But it is fantastic.
It's delicious. It's the most delicious thing I've ever eaten. I'm not interested.
Yeah, I'm just not into that right now. I'm not at a point where I want that right now.
So I think I told you though I signed up a whole school with afternoon class for new kids.
You're doing a daycare.
I thought you were going to scream the R word.
You're doing daycare. You said you'd never do the daycare.
No, it's not daycare.
It is daycare. I know what they do.
We're
Maisie
teaching
does
them
this.
karate for a whole hour.
No, Maisie does this. She's like, it's soccer. And I look out there. I'm like, I'm going to watch her do soccer. I look out there. They're all laying and they're coloring.
No, we do not.
I'm like, that's babysitting.
No, I am yelling at them saying to get in attention. And you
Coloring. Shut up while I'm in my office. I'm in here trying to figure out this Javier situation. He fucking quit on me. I don't know what the fuck I got to do.
I did put out a help wanted thing on my
Javier, did you see that? You see how important you are, even though we talked you into staying.
Yeah, I did.
You're hiring? That's weird.
No, I was.
That's weird for a business.
I was, but I didn't.
You were hiring for 1 hour when Javier quit.
Yeah, I got like 3 or 4 qualified people that wrote me though and said they were interested, but I'm gonna stick with Javier's
really?
good. Javier's
Ring
good.
girls? Like
no, it's not one of those. I wouldn't.
But
get
he's on his way out. You convinced him to come back as soon as
he's on his way out.
No, I told him I'm like, if you're
that.
coming, you're here because you love it and you want to be here, not because I'm making you.
Oh, don't do that.
I'm just joking.
That's what the guy.
We only want people here that want to be here. If you don't want to be here, you got to hit the fucking bricks.
Then you show him a check. You're like, this is coming to you. You're going to deposit in your account next month.
Yeah.
No, I was doing a great job. Everything's great.
Samantha's in our chat room. Sam, type what's going on with your show schedule for this week, and I'll read it. Let's see, what else?
Medium Appreciation Week. We got a bunch of new merch.
The earrings are live on the website. If you want Puerto Rican baby earrings for your Puerto Rican baby, you can get those at tomanddan.com/merchandise.
Check out all our watering holes, tomanddanwateringholes.com. And we'll tell you BDMs will know about the whole Airbnb deal, but we got that coming up in the next couple weeks where it's going to go live.
Yeah, and if you made it all the way to this far into the show, now I have a special little conundrum here. Oh, Sam got back to me. Releasing a new show this Sunday, and it was recorded from the Flogging Molly cruise. So
awesome.
live from the cruise, you get to listen to, and that's Semantics Media. You got to search it, subscribe it, wherever you get your podcasts. So I am going to be in Daytona for Maisie's dance competition this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
And I have some time to kill because the actual thing, I think the thing kicks off around 11. She starts off, she's in a bunch of dances, but the first one she's in is like at 11. And then basically I'll be there and have nothing to do till like around 5 or 7. So I've got a window of time in there. And Andrea said, this is her suggestion. She's like, they have those rentable scooters around there. Why don't you ride a scooter to Hooters? And I'm like...
Ooh.
That's not a bad idea. And then if there are any Volusia people out there, I can have them meet me. But how long? How much?
You just want your meal bought for you.
No.
You're gonna have a scooter Hooter meetup.
I'm gonna have a scooter to Hooter meetup. Like a pop in.
What day? Tell us.
Saturday.
What time?
So
lunchtime.
I'm gonna say Saturday 1.
All right.
You got enough time to get there on a
Let's say
scooter?
1 p.m.
Daytona Hooters.
If it changes, I'll post in the BDM group.
Isn't there a lot of Daytona Hooters? Or is there only one?
I think there's
only, got a guess?
No, I think there were more than one because Daytona used to be the home of Hooters.
Yeah. Well, there's one beachside. That's the
beachside.
Oh, the beachside. Yeah. Okay.
There's one right when you get off of.
But so it may not be Hooters either. It may be like a wing house beachside.
What?
But regardless, I'll post in the BDM group, okay?
Okay.
But we're shooting for 1 p.m. That's what I'm shooting for, 1 p.m.
All right.
So that's what we're shooting for. And then if somebody can meet, and I'll buy. How about that? I'll company card, Truist.
Daytona has a lot of cheerleading competitions, dance competitions.
Yeah. It's a good convention city.
Is it the convention?
Yeah, and it's a destination because you got the beach there. And
they don't do karate.
We take the beach for granted, right? Like, there are people that see it and cry.
Yeah.
There are people that go to Disney World and cry, guys. We are so spoiled
Yeah,
we go to Daytona. And
Like
cry,
you go
too.
to the beach.
We cry.
But
for
they're
other
like, it's
reasons.
a beautiful beach. And you're like, yeah, but it's just the surface.
It used to be. It used to be.
I like how Daytona's like, we're going to specialize on little girls dancing. And you're like, oh, what's up, Daytona?
And the pedophiles are like, yes.
Why did
Yes,
you already
feed me.
you have a stigma to you. Don't do that. Anyway. All right, everybody. We appreciate you listening.
Have a great weekend, y'all. We love you. And is there anything else?
Nope. Bye-bye.
Well, wait a minute. I can't publish that. It's mediocre.